a proud son of Grand Bahama Island, husband to Micheline, and father of 5. As a committed member of the Coalition of Independence, Daniel stands with the people, driven by a passion for empowering Bahamians to take charge of their future. With over 20 years of service at Living Water Assembly of God Church, Daniel has been a youth leader and deacon, dedicated to shaping the next generation of Bahamian leaders. From humble beginnings, Daniel followed his passion for auto mechanics, starting his own business, the Auto Riser, where he serves the community with the same dedication he brings to his political career. In 2020, Daniel stepped into the role of activist, leading the charge to reclaim Bahamian land and resources for its rightful owners. His mission? To ensure that Bahamians benefit from the natural wealth of our nation. Every week, Daniel hosts Change is Here on Dove 103.7 FM, spreading his message of empowerment and calling Bahamians to action. Daniel Mitchell is committed, passionate, and relentless in his pursuit of real change for the Bahamian people. He believes it's time for all Bahamians to possess their land, build their businesses, and share in the nation's wealth. Daniel Mitchell, fighting for a future where wealth is common and every Bahamian can thrive. Change is here.
Things are gonna change. Things are gonna change. Things are gonna change. Things are gonna change.
Bahamas.
Someday.
I'm ready for change, Bahamas.
Someday.
Things are gonna change, Bahamas. It's time for the Bahamian people to possess.
Candace Prince, a proud daughter of Nassau and a dynamic leader in the tourism sector for over 35 years. As the owner of Shell Souvenirs and Treasures by the Sea International, Yvette has been a trailblazer in handicraft innovation, earning recognition across the globe. Her commitment to excellence and creativity in the tourism industry even led to a nomination for the prestigious Cacique Award. For the past 20 years, Yvette has served as the president of the Festival Place Tenants Association, standing unopposed due to her integrity and dedication to fair play. She's been a tireless advocate for small businesses, ensuring that local entrepreneurs can thrive. Yvette's compassion extends beyond business. Her humanitarian work has touched the lives of many, especially at-risk individuals, making her a respected activist and transformational leader. A lifelong learner, Yvette has been empowered by mentors like Dr. Cindy Trim and Dr. Miles Monroe, attending global conferences to sharpen her leadership skills. Her mission is to help others discover their purpose and reach their full potential. As a devoted mother, including to a child with special needs, Yvette knows the importance of creating a more inclusive and supportive environment for people with disabilities. Her vision for Yamakra includes ensuring every citizen has the opportunity for a fulfilling life. Yvette Prince is a voice of reason and change, with a heart for the people and a vision for a better Bahamas. As the Coalition of Independence candidate for Yamakra, she's ready to lead with compassion, integrity, and dedication. Yvette Candace Prince, transforming Yamakra for a brighter tomorrow. Change is here.
Yvette Candace Prince is a passionate activist.
Welcome to the
Humanitarian.
Good afternoon, Bahamas, and welcome. Thank you for joining us on your Sunday afternoon. You know what to do when you get in here. That is share. Make sure that you spread the message so that persons know exactly what is going on. Whenever we're dealing with matters like these, you know they're going to block it as much as they can to make sure people don't get their notification. So use your highlights and your at followers if you're on Facebook. And if you have family and friends who are not on Facebook, Twitter, etc., please send them the YouTube link where anyone can get it. For persons who are not on social media, we've not been able to get on Twitter for the last couple of weeks, but we'll get that straight for you. So today we're broadcasting live everywhere. So you can watch this broadcast also on YouTube if you want to watch it on your television set and get the full big picture. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have an interesting conversation today, as we always do. It's classroom time. We're going to put you in the class because it may be time for Bahamians to get arrested again because of what the government is allowing. And of course, we've committed to always letting you know when they're up to their tricks and their skullduggery to make sure that you don't fall for their tricks and the games that they play on the Bahamian people. And so that's what we're going to do today. As you've heard me say, as you've seen in the sorry, I'm multitasking. Have you seen in the title of this, Cabbage Beach is now under attack again. The Bahamas has the most valuable land in the world, and I say that without reservation. The Bahamas has the most valuable land in the world, and everyone from all walks of life wants what we have. The people from around the world want what we have, and they value what we have, but we don't value what we have. And so we're going to talk about that today. And I'm going to break that down for you because the vendors are about to be kicked off their land again. And we're about to lose something that Bahamians feel belong to them. And that is our public right-of-way between the Rio and the property that the Four Seasons Ocean Club just bought. And so we have to discuss that from a real standpoint so Bahamians know what's going on. So make sure you do your at highlight and at followers, and you tag some people in here. Make sure they know exactly what is going on, or go in your little groups and share the WhatsApp or the YouTube, the Facebook and the YouTube link so that people know exactly what is happening. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, last week was an interesting week. My God. We had a major hurricane pass through Florida. It was threatening the northern Bahamas, who honestly can't take anything else right now. They are suffering through a more terrible storm called the Progressive Liberal Party. And I don't think that they could have survived a major hurricane of that extent hitting them right now. The northern Bahamas, Abaco is still trying to get it together after Dorian. And Freeport is suffering through a port authority that is visionless and very ineffective at this time. And not all of it is their fault. Some of it is the government's fault, but they're suffering through it nonetheless. And no one seems to have a solution, but the COI does. And the COI is looking forward to coming to office soon so that we can bring Freeport to life and bring Grand Bahama on the whole to life, because Grand Bahama is the key to the new Bahamas. And we're going to make the whole entire Bahamas great in doing so. I went through that storm, and it was very interesting. I had to go there because my daughter was living in Tampa, where the storm was actually going to hit. And so my children are the most important thing to me. And so I quickly jumped on the plane to go over there, and had to drive from down south, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, to head all the way over there and come back and get her out of harm's way. And that was 14 hours of driving. The traffic was immense. It was crazy. But what I got to see was the preparation. What I normally see in the Bahamas, and we're going to get to Cabbage Beach in a minute, but what I normally see in the Bahamas is reaction and reactionary thinking, and bumbling and fumbling after a major event, particularly after hurricanes, etc. And you normally see the foreigners come in and have to help us with everything. But what I saw there was beforehand, it seemed like scores of the high tension wire trucks headed toward the Tampa area, from the Miami area, which was going to be safe, headed there from the Miami area before the storm. So they were sending the big trucks. I even saw the few Pike trucks. Pike is now who's taking over somehow BPL. I saw Pike trucks and trucks from other companies headed down that way. It was powerful seeing them headed to the storm, so that when the storm was over, they could get into action right away. And within about 24 hours, I think it was, they had all the power back on, despite the destruction for the most part. But the preparation, sending them there, I saw police officers and emergency personnel headed from the safe areas of Florida, and the governor was managing all of this, headed from the safe areas of Florida and headed down there, so that as soon as the storm was finished, they had 14 days of supplies, so that they could be efficient and didn't have to depend on the regular systems that would be in place, food stores, electricity, etc. They had all the supplies they need to last them for 14 days. They took with them, and you could see all this going there. To witness this was different for a Bahamian who is used to reactionary thinking. That was phenomenal. You saw even companies were putting things in place. I saw cell phone companies sending generators and electrical equipment to that area. So I guess in case they had problems with electricity or the generators that they could just take them out and replace them like shark teeth. Just plug them in. To see this kind of thinking is where the Bahamas needs to go, and where the COI wants to take the Bahamas. All right. It was amazing to witness all of that. It was amazing. Someone says Bradenton City lights still off. Yeah, in some areas, even in some areas of Florida, there's still flooding. So flooding is still going on in some of the areas, but everywhere where there's the okay, the power is still on. But I witnessed on taking my daughter back home yesterday, I witnessed that there was a lot of flooding. It was hard to maneuver because the GPS didn't know where the flooding was. So it'll take you to a street and then it'll have road closed because it's fully flooded. So there's still areas where there are floods. And of course, if there are floods in certain areas or down power lines, but particularly floods, they're not going to turn IERI back on. There was still flood in houses in some areas. And so other than that, that's why I said for the most part, they were able to get power on very quickly, get stuff restored very quickly. But it was the preparation that is what I'm trying to get to. The preparation, the forethought that they put into it. They started trucking down tankers of gasoline. Right now, they're offering free gasoline to the Bahamian public. You think Menace and Brave them would ever even consider that? Not while the F&M and PLP went focal. They are offering free gasoline. They have stations set up where persons can carry their cars because the commercial gas stations were running out. And the government was even supplying them to a certain point. But of course, they couldn't even keep up. And so they were offering free, they're offering now free gasoline to the public right now as we speak. This is the kind of forethought that you need moving forward in the Bahamas. Because we are in the hurricane belt and hurricanes are part of our life, but we seem to be the least most prepared country in the world for hurricanes. The least prepared. We have no plan for hurricanes. We do not have warehouses set up with supplies, with non-perishable supplies. They have food that could actually last for years. I know that's not the most healthy of food to be able to consider, but in an emergency, it's something that you can eat to survive in case a storm hits the port of Miami or et cetera, not even the Bahamas, and we can't get ships to come to the Bahamas or there's some blockage. We could have emergency supplies set up. Food that can last for long periods of time, and every so often you can sell the food cheaply and then replace it every so often, so you don't have the food there too long. But these are things that we should be thinking of. Someone says, "How is it looking in Orlando?" Orlando is doing well. I drove through Orlando yesterday. I'm staying in West Palm, but I drove through Orlando yesterday, and Orlando was doing pretty okay. Port St. Lucie is what got the the brunt of the tornadoes from it. So they got a lot of damage. But Orlando was doing pretty fine. There was some flooding in Orlando, but for the most part, it's a-okay in Orlando. All right. And so I have friends who live there who gave me the update. I just drove through. And of course, the Google Maps is telling you that there was a lot of flooding yesterday in Orlando. Sharon Seymour is saying, my first time on the show. Welcome, Sharon Seymour. Welcome, welcome. This is where we are planning and talking about the new Bahamas. And so welcome, and make sure you're here, and make sure every single Bahamian that you know is watching this to know exactly what's going on in the country. All right. So someone says, yes, we're good in Orlando. Yes. All right. So yeah, so we'll get to talking about all that stuff later. But I just wanted you to know that we need a Bahamas that is proactive, that can plan for the future. All right, that can plan a properly thought out community, a properly thought out country that doesn't react, that thinks about what's to come. All these years after Dorian, not let alone the 51 years, but all these years after Dorian that devastated this country and its economy, and we still don't have one hurricane shelter built by the government. Not one. That is extremely important. When the Chinese were talking about, what do you want us to build? Instead of saying build a sports center, we should have said build a sports center and build us some hurricane shelters on Highland, on some of our islands. Probably $5 million per shelter. Give us 10 of them, $50 million, and we'll appreciate it. The Americans want to help. Hey, build us some hurricane shelters. But they're going all over the world begging. They just went to Africa and begged for $30 million to build a shopping center. Jesus. To build a shopping center. That's a discussion for another day. All right. So I don't know what to say. So again, we want to put some things in place. We presented before the election our plan for our hurricane shelter. We showed the shelter with the sleeping areas, with the advanced sleeping areas, the sleeping areas for families, an area where you can keep your pets that was separate from where the people were, but there was a connection between the two, so you didn't have to go outside. A parking area where your cars would be protected. We had an area where persons with communicable disease could be kept during this emergency and not affect the other people. And so we put all these things in place. We have to stop believing in governments that have no plans for this country. We have to stop that. We can have a company that works, a real country that works, that's run like a company, instead of run like a petty shop. All right. So, all right. So let's go. I want to talk today about something else that really bothers me. Someone says the malls and shopping centers are going out of business in the USA. That's because of online shopping. I don't want to get distracted with too much other things, but online shopping is leading to the decline of malls, etc. So malls are now turning to more entertainment kind of activities if they can. But online shopping is where it's at. And so some malls are turning into centers for companies like Amazon, etc. Because everyone in America is shopping online. Right? It closed down not only the malls, but it closed down companies like Circuit City, that was number one in electronics. Toys R Us is gone. I used to just love taking my kids there and saying, get whatever you want. That was little stress for Christmas. They're getting too big for toys now. They want iPhones and iPads. And my daughter just asked me for a car for Christmas. She's 14. A car, and she know what car she wants. Yeah, so So my daughter asked me for a BMW X3. So I said, okay, we can rent that, and you can drive in that, but you can't have no car. But just to say, Toys R Us is gone, and so a lot of things change. The economy always shifts with the times, and that's why we got to build a country that shifts with the times and is able to adapt. And so all of this is going to come when we start revealing our vision to you. You're going to see that we have a vision for the future of this country and to benefit us as Bahamians, all right, and put Bahamians first. All right, so that's what's happening to the malls in America. All right, so um, someone said she can borrow mine's X3. Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for that. But let's go to the topic of the day. We're talking today about a serious issue, an issue for where me and other persons have been arrested, and we're willing to be arrested again. I'm more than willing to sacrifice my freedom for this country and for our land. Um, I'm willing to sacrifice my life for this land. Because it seems like over the last 50 years, Bahamians are being canceled out in the Bahamas. The Bahamas is not for Bahamians over the last 50 years. And we have to change that. Foreigners are coming to this country legally and illegally, and they are having advantages that we don't have. They attack Bahamians, arrest Bahamians. They will arrest a Bahamian for having a coconut stand without a permit, but they wouldn't touch an illegal immigrant who has a stand selling whatever they want. During COVID, they allowed illegal immigrants to keep whatever vending operations that they wanted, selling whatever they want, while Bahamians were harassed and couldn't even come outside. They treated us indifferently. During the COVID, Bahamians were arrested for going to the pump to get water to clean up their ill elderly father. Bahamians were arrested for that, while the rich will be allowed to come and have a burial for their dog. And Dwayne Sands and Michael Pintat could have the heart to tell this government what to do or tell the Bahamian people what needs to happen. They have no legitimacy to speak right now on anything after what they have done to this country. And it is shameful that they are still allowed to even show intentions to want to govern this country again after what they did to the Bahamian people. But Bahamians are always treated badly. They will arrest you for anything, while the foreigners can do whatever they like. They are now pretending because we've put pressure on them to break down shanty towns, but of course, they're not really breaking down the shanty towns. They're breaking down some homes in the shanty towns, and that's after they've negotiated other places for those persons to go. So your money was used to house these people, and we're not the only country where that's happening, but it's happening here also. Your money is being used, expended to house these people and to give them assistance, while they break down those houses where they found for someone. If they didn't find anything for them, okay, they could stay. We'll just put in the news that, oh, the shanty town is broken down. And then most people only get the information from the news, so they'll be fooled by it. But if you go in most constituencies, and as we are knocking door to door right now, we are finding full apartments with people who can't even speak English. People who are saying that they have no papers, they have nothing. I'm experiencing that in Pinewood. People are experiencing that all over Bahamas in areas where you never had these people before. Even out east, you're finding people who were in shanty towns, and now they are everywhere. And so, there's different rules for Bahamians and for others. And so in 2016, Access International Access International Limited, they bought a piece of land next to the Rio Hotel from Atlantis. But between those two properties is a strip of land, a famous strip of land that all Bahamians know. And it is a strip of land that we use to access Cabbage Beach, right next to Rio. So in 2016, after when they bought that, uh, they put some agreement in there that Access International told Atlantis to lock the gate, make sure that no one had access to that, block it off as a part of the sales agreement. And so I guess both parties decided to put a gate there. And in putting that gate there, they blocked off access to Bahamians to get to that beach. They blocked off, and I love that beach. It's the first beach that my son went on, and it was my favorite beach. Um, Tourists go to that beach. Taxi drivers bring tourists to that beach as a part of their living, and there are vendors offering all manner of wear on that beach. And so the beach is a part of our culture, is a part of the culture of the Bahamas. It's not just a beach. It is a part of us, somewhere we access and that belongs to us. And so, and many people live their livelihoods. It's a part of our economy. Those people who live their livelihoods there contribute to our economy. Those people bring US dollars into to our economy that goes into our banking system and into our foreign reserves. Those people on those beaches, the money that they make offering what they are offering, it then goes into barbershops and grocery stores and everywhere else that they would spend money. And so it benefits the economy for those people to be there. Those people have built houses. Those people have schooled their children. Those people have made other investments because of their access to that beach. And that access to that beach was going to be taken away. I'm going to show you a document from the company that is blocking that beach that shows that they know that it's going to largely take away a chunk of the economy of those people, and they don't care because they're still doing it. I'm going to show you that in writing today. So make sure you tell your family and friends to get on this live and see what's really going on. But back to the story. And so in 2016, they blocked that access. And so beach vendors, etc., and taxi drivers, they decided to go out and protest. They went on the bridge to protest, and they said, well, we're going to block the bridge. And they went out there, and of course, they were arrested. They had put cars on the bridge because if you're going to block their livelihood, they're gonna block the economy of those people. Atlantis, who was seemed to be a part, who they felt was a part of putting that gate up to block them. And so the police came out there, and I mean, they beat, kicked, dragged, stumped persons, treated Bahamians like trash, like the lowest of animals. The way they treated Bahamians, if you treat animals like that in this country, you will go to jail. If you are caught kicking and dragging an animal, they will jail you. A dog right now, they will jail you. But that is how they treated Bahamians. And the instructions from the higher ups, those who were in power at the time. Who was it at the time? It was Brave, Davis, and Perry, them, that did it. And so it came out that well, I'll get to that. So the next day, I didn't know that was going on, and I got a call that evening while I was on the radio show at Global, and someone called and said, Mr. Bain, this is what is happening. The government is allowing this company to block the access to Cabbage Beach. And I said, no, the government would never do that. They wouldn't be so foolish as to do something like that. How could they even dream of doing that? And they said, yes, but that's what they're doing. I'm sorry, my the reception on YouTube seems to be a little bit blurry. I don't know if it's the same thing on Facebook. Let me just double check to see what kind of quality you are getting. Access to Cabbage Beach. Okay, it's blurry on the whole. Okay, normally when you see it blurry like that, they're trying to affect what is happening. So I just wanted to make sure that you were getting good sound reception, but just bear with me. on this. Um, just bear with me on this. Let me make sure no other devices are on that so that we get the proper streaming. I'm so sorry about this. Make sure that we're good. Okay. Make sure no devices are on there. All right, good. So I told them there's no way the government would do that. They wouldn't be so foolish as to damage so many people. But you see, corrupt governments only care about what they get under the table. They don't care about what benefits the people or what doesn't benefit the people. And they know if you vote them out, you're putting in their friends. And so it doesn't matter. And so they don't care. So it was true that it was happening. And I started immediately doing what I do best. I started investigating. And as I started to investigate, I realized and exposed that O.B. Wilchcombe gave permission to the landowners to do so. O.B. Wilchcombe, there was a document between the two of them, and we exposed it, where he gave permission for them to do it. Now, the Minister of Tourism has no authority to give permission to anyone to take over a piece of land. And of course, that piece of land is a public right-of-way. That's like a road without a name. It's a public right-of-way, all right? That's not just a beach access. That's a public right-of-way. And so the only way you can take a public right-of-way is to go to Parliament. And so that is what we started to reveal. So I made it clear that, listen, this is what they did to my Bahamian people. I am coming out there tomorrow. All right. I made that announcement on the radio. Hubert Minnis called me and said, yeah, he wants to go, but he's only going if I'm coming, because he knew I had the courage. He seemed a little afraid to go out there. And I said, yes, I'm going to be out there. And he called, I guess, his FNM to come, and other parties came. Brandville of the DNA came, and we all went out there. And I saw the politicians just talking, saying what should happen, and this shouldn't happen, and that shouldn't happen. And while they were talking to the media, I was not interested in all of this talk and all this conversation. So we went there and we just took the fence down. All right, simple as that. We decided that this thing had to go, and this thing made, we didn't come out here to talk. All right, you're not going to take our access. And there's a time for everything, according to the Bible. There's a time for everything. There's even a time to be arrested. And so we decided that we were going to remove that fence, and that is what happened. All right. And so I initiated the effort, and persons came and they continued the effort. And so we came together, regardless of what color we were wearing. That's me in the picture on the left-hand side in the black and white. We came together, the taxi drivers in the back side of the fence, and these guys are right here. And we did what we had to do, all right? Because this is our country, man. This is our country. And we have to fight for what is ours. If we don't fight for what is ours, then we simply don't deserve to have it. It's simple as that. And so we decided to fight for Cabbage Beach. And not only we take the gate down, we took the whole fence down, every part of it. And when this started, Minnis break off running. All the politicians break off running. They wanted to take credit later, but they broke off running. All right. After this happened, the day after, Brave Davis came out and decried the government. Sorry. Minnis came out and decried the government, Brave Davis and them, for what they were doing. O.B. Wilchcombe, was a part of this, and all of a sudden everything went silent. Everyone tried to run and hide because no one wanted it to be exposed that they were the persons who gave favor to these people to be able to do exactly what they did. And so to give them the courage to do exactly what they did. And so everyone broke off running, and the scandal went out that, hold on, there's a correspondence between Obi and them giving them permission to do this. OMG. that's interesting. And so Menace then started declaring that, oh, he's going what the government should do and what they shouldn't do, and all these ideas. The government should buy out the land so that, or acquire the land, because government does not necessarily buy it, but acquire it, compulsory acquire it, the land, and all this good stuff he was saying. And and that same day, they started arresting persons. Police called me as soon as I finished my show that day, and they said, "Lincoln, we want you to come in." I said, "Come in for what?" They said, "Cabbage Beach situation." I said, "Okay, so you're gonna arrest me?" They were like, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, I'll gladly be arrested for defending my country." And so I went there, and to be arrested, and I went there. They spoke to me, and they arrested me. And they arrested 11 others. So 12 of us were arrested. We call ourselves the Dirty Dozen. And we were arrested, and we stood up for this country. And Menace came into power, and he forgot us. You know, he came into power a few months later. He forgot us. He had said that he was going to expunge our records or throw out the case if he comes to power, and he totally ignored us after that. He totally ran from us, and we fought him on that. And even Brave Davis came out and said, "Yeah, Menace used them for political gain." And then after that was said, Menace came out, and I guess he did something, because they threw the case away. And then in 2021, it came back. All of a sudden, they came and blocked the gate. Put up a gate again. Again, the nerve of these people under the Menace and the FNM. And so they put up this gate. I'm telling you the whole story before I get to what we need to get to. They put up this gate, and on putting up the gate, it seemed like they were working with, like the government was working with them on that. I mean, everyone was in shock. Hold on, how could Menace allow this to happen? How could Menace, after being out there with us, and he should have been arrested too, because he said he planned this whole thing. You know, how could Menace allow this to happen? So that was the question for everybody. But it was blocked nonetheless. So me and a team of persons went out there, and we again removed the gate. And we're prepared to keep removing the gate. But we removed the gate and took it down because the developers had not only put up a gate, they had taken all of the property of the vendors. They normally lock their chairs and umbrellas, etc., on the beach, so when they come the next day, it's right there. They don't have to keep toting it. But what did they do? They came and dumped all the people's stuff on the side of the road. So they don't care about the environment or how it looks, because they just dumped the people's stuff on the side of the road. They didn't care. And so we went there and opened the gate. I didn't physically open it. We told someone told them what tools to get and to get this gate open. And we opened the gate, and then we assisted, me and the COI team, we lift those heavy chairs, etc., and assisted all those people in getting their stuff back on the beach. And you know, at that time, you know, I think a couple of days later, they told Brave it looked bad that you ain't standing up with the people. I was wondering why Brave wouldn't say nothing. Then Brave came out there, you know, for a little photo op, met with a troll that he has on the beach, and you know, shook some people's hand. Yeah, and then he started making a statement. All right, a statement about Menace and how Menace used the people, and how when the PLP gets in, they're gonna acquire the land for public purposes. All right. And so here's a news article where people were saying they won't let anyone take their livelihood. People were standing up and talking, you know. There's also a video on this. You can go and look at it. So PLP Troll is also there saying, So they said Larry Miller, spokesperson for the Cabbage Beach Vendors Association, said they spent too many years building up the beach to give it up now. His wife, Caprio Sanders, who has been a beach vendor for nearly 16 years at the time, that's up to 2021 when this happened the second time, said everything we get from off this beach. And we refuse to let this government or any foreigner think they going to move us off this beach. We ain't going nowhere, is what these beach vendors said. She said, we don't care if we get locked up. We got fight. All of us going to fight. Tell them, bring it on, because we ain't going nowhere. Another person said how they raised 6 children and they did this and did that in order to get this, and how they got there. All right. The picture accompanied with this shows when we were there before, when we broke down the fence, the first 6 in 2016. Someone says, you don't want me to rob and kill or shoot up the place? Well, we will give you what you want. So people started to talk violent talks out there. Said protesters cried shame on Hubert Minnis, underscoring that while in opposition, he stood alongside Venice in support of a similar plight they faced just over 5 years ago. At the time, Minnis was joined by the Free National Movement candidate, Randall, and all these other people. All right. And so all of this information is here. And there's also commentary by Philip Brave Davis, who made some statements that I told you about and said that he would acquire the land. All right. And so with all of this, 3 years later, of course, Philip Brave Davis has still not acquired the land for the Bahamian people. And of course, now the vendors the company realized that they have a problem, and that is the public perception, and the politicians have to bow a little bit to public perception. And so they realize that they have a little bit of a problem. And so they have come with a new trick. And so I think they know that we're going to go after them if they try to do this wholeheartedly. So Brave Davis told them, we got to do something. This is what we feel. Brave Davis told them, listen, man, we got to make this look good. We got to find some way to make this look good. Let's say that y'all are going to leave a little space over there for the people, and you're going to decorate it up, and you're going to build some kiosks and all that. Make it look good, man. Make it sound good. But y'all still take over the land. And so that's what they seem to want to do. And so while I was in Florida, we heard that there was some meeting that was going to go on, and persons from the COI decided to go out there to investigate and see what was going on. I heard people on social media talking about a protest. There was no protest. They did not go out there to protest. They went out there to go to a meeting that they heard would be at the Ocean Club. That meeting was set. They said they pushed the meeting to 11 o'clock instead of 10. And so our persons went, some of our team stayed at the beach, and our leaders went to the Ocean Club to support the vendors who were told that the meeting would be there. And after 11 came, they said, no, the meeting is going to be at 6 o'clock at Queens College. And so 2 of our representatives went to Queens College to see what was going on. But while there was some misunderstanding. We want people to know that was a misunderstanding. Larry, who is blind, who was quoted in that newspaper article saying that we'll never, ever give up this beach. He stepped on someone's foot accidentally. I guess they didn't realize he was blind or know him. And he stepped on their foot. It was painful, so they just kind of instinctively, pushed him off their foot. They didn't punch him or slap him or do anything violent. They just moved him off their foot. It was an elderly lady, a very elderly lady, and she just needed him to get off her foot, which is what she did. His wife then, was offended by that, and it led to a back and forth between these 2 individuals. It was not, some people say COI versus PLP, etc. That was nothing like that. That was 2 individuals having their issues at the time. And so it led to someone else coming out there and screaming that you pushed my father. And this is where we have to have maturity as a people. We have a lot of violence and people don't know how to deal with stuff. And so another person came out there. They were taken to the station and arrested. Of course, that person is connected to the PLP, so you know what's going to happen. They're going to be let go. We don't expect anything to come out of that. Not that we want anyone to be arrested for a misunderstanding, but that's where this is going to go. When the PLP is in power, the rules don't matter for their people. And so, as you can see, files are going missing as relate directly, and all this stuff is going on. So the PLP is in power, so there will be no rule of law while they're in power. So, but anyway, that happened, and it's regretful that happened. And but persons were there to stand with the vendors, all right? And the vendors expressed, they called me and expressed that they were appreciative of what went down. Now, they went to a meeting, and at that meeting, they were informed of some things. They were presented some information. There was a TV screen up with a slideshow, and I'm going to show you some of the slides from that meeting. It was interesting, the information that was given out of that meeting. And so, of course, I started my investigations and found other documents and additional documents, the plans that showed what they really had planned, and other information that's a part of this. One of the documents is, I think, over 500 or 600 pages long. So that's a lot of information. And the other document is also long, about 30-something pages long, the economic assessment, all a bunch of fluff. But I'm going to show you exactly what is planned. I'm going to show you what is planned for that. They didn't really give the information, but I'm going to show you because I've received the documents and I have it. And I'm going to show you exactly what's going to happen with Cabbage Beach and how I feel that they're actually being deceitful with everything that they're saying. They just want control of that area. So before I begin to show you these documents, let me see if I can get these organized for you. Before I begin to show you these documents, I just want you to know what it was rumored that is going to be offered to these people. They're going to be, it was said that they're going to be offered $300 per week to work for the hotel. $300 per week to work for the hotel and residence, the condominiums that's going to be built there. But there's plans that I see for where they're going to put up about 10 kiosks in the right of way. They're going to take that right of way and then put up 10 and put a small little access there. And they're going to put up 10 kiosks. And I think it's over 70 of the vendors out there. 10 are going to get kiosks. The rest, c'est la vie. And those persons who get kiosks are going to get $1 a day. So if the first thing happens where they take you and make you a slave to work for them and give you $300 a week, it's because now you won't have any standing because you don't have rights to that right of way because you actually work for them now. You see, you work for them, so your right to that right of way is taken away, and you've done that by becoming an employee. Next, if you are allowed to lease, whenever you accept a lease from someone, you are acknowledging their ownership, and so you can't have a separate claim from their ownership. You understand? And so that's in law. And so if they accept this dollar lease, and that's why they're putting it to $1. Like, hey, y'all, just come sign a lease with us and we only pay $1 a month and then you'll be good. And so once they accept that lease, they are acknowledging the ownership of the resort. And so they don't have a separate claim to be able to sue in the court of law to say they own it because they have turned over ownership to the hotel. Do you understand how they're trying to outsmart the people? What they did before, because there was a case before, and the case was in the hotel's favor. what they did before was they sued as an association. They came together as an association, and the association sued, um, and they got an injunction to say they couldn't be moved for 30 days. And then they tried to extend it. When they came to extend it, the hotel, I guess by then, figured out how they could mosey around this. And they said, these people are not our employees, so they have no standing to sue us as an association. So it was treated, the argument was it was treated like they were acting like a union, but they didn't have standing as a union because they're not employees. But they weren't acting as a union, they were acting as people working together. So they came as an association and sued the hotel and the owners who were going to build the hotel. And the court said, no, well, the hotel has the best argument. You're not a union. And their lawyer didn't counter-argue that properly. He was just arguing on the merits of everything. And so they lost. And that was Halton Mutri. And so they lost on that. But they could have appealed, or they could have sued individually, okay, as persons with a right to use that land. But it doesn't seem like they went further with it, all right? One of the reasons the wealthy take advantage of the poor is because the poor doesn't have the money to keep going to the Privy Council where they could probably get justice. And so that's what normally hurts them. So they use that little loophole because in our court system, it's who brings the best argument, not who is right. It's not about really perfectly about justice, because it's who brings the best argument. All right. And you could be as right as an angel. But if this person's lawyer brings a better argument than you, you're going to lose in our system. And that's something I hate about our system. But that's the way it is, and we have to accept it. So they lost. And so they're playing tricks on the Bahamian people. So now one either can be our employee, or two, we'll give you umbrellas and all that, and you can go on the beach, etc. Don't mind them, mother said, making noise. You will make your money, right? Yeah, we'll give you the umbrellas. We'll even pay for your chairs, etc. Because they just want the rights to the land. All right? And so that's what seems to be happening here. And once those persons give up their rights, it's over, because eventually they can close it whenever they want. Once they have established certain things, they can come back a month later, 2 months later, a year later, and say, hey, this ours. We don't want them kiosks there anymore. Y'all get lost. Y'all had a month-to-month contract. See y'all later. We now own it. Y'all let us own it, and we invested. We developed that. We invested in this. Come off this land. Y'all didn't develop this. Y'all just was walking over it. Come off this land. And so that's what they're preparing to do to the Bahamian people, and you are going to witness that. All right, if they fall for it. And so I got a couple of doc slides that they showed about their intentions, and then I'm going to show you the documents they didn't show at that meeting. All right, so I hope everyone was understanding clearly what I just said, because I can't see your comments. I hope you was understanding clearly what I just said. All right, so that's the tricks that Bahamians always stand for. All right, so now let me show you the documents that they shared at this meeting. Let's see here, is it? All right. At this meeting, they shared some documents. I'm going to have to make this big so you can really see this. I'm sharing the screen. So they had a TV up, and so I just cropped it so you could see the information that they put up on there. So to the right is what they plan on billing. And they're talking about Ocean Club, 4 Seasons, Residence, Bahamas. And they said 67 residences. Now, in the plans that I later saw that they actually presented, the government, etc., they're saying they had a different number. But, of course, here it says 67. All right. The start date, then 2024. The original start date was supposed to be 2022. All right. And they say completion date 2029. The completion date was supposed to be 2026. All right. Sorry, 2022 or 2025. Sorry. And so initially they had a 3-year timeline. Now they have a 4-year timeline. So it's changed a little bit. Okay, hold on. I want to make that big for you. I'm sorry. I just see that that's on a smaller screen that you can't really appreciate. I want you to see these documents good. So let me just, yeah, I want you to see this very good. All right. So go back. All right. So that's the dates. All right. And this is what they shared at that meeting, and they told everyone, and they put these big numbers up that sounded so good. $300 million condo hotel development they're going to be putting up. And they said the economic impact is going to be $715 million over 20 years. $715 million over 20 years. That's not what they're going to make. That's what they saying the contribution to the economy is going to be. And I'm going to show you how they play with numbers to give you these big numbers to make themselves sound important. Because some of this impact, they're saying that's the money that's going to be made by the wholesalers' staff. The wholesalers they buy stuff from, their staff is going to buy stuff, or their staff is going to buy stuff from people who are going to buy stuff from people. And if you go down the line, then the money they spend with those people and those people is the impact of what's going to happen here. Even though most of the people they're going to hire already have a job, because if you ain't got experience, they ain't really hire you. So most likely grab people from other hotels and you're just going to shift over. But anyway, that's a different story. So the impact is, they're saying it's $715 million over 20 years, all right? And that they're going to invest $300 million, even though they're going to get just under $160 million in concessions. Yep. Half of it is going to be concessions. But anyway, we'll get to that. All right. Let's go to the next document. And so they said beach access for the public. It sounds so good. During the construction, public access to Cabbage Beach will be limited for safety. Alternative pathways will be provided to ensure ongoing access. But they didn't say here what alternative, but I got the secret documents that shows exactly what they are saying is going to happen for the vendors. All right. So the vendors are gonna have some access. Public, I don't know. We'll see. Enhanced post-construction access. A permanent 15-foot wide landscape. You remember that number, right? 15 foot. Right? That's what they put out there, and that's what they said in this presentation. 15-foot wide landscape beach. But I can show you the plans to show that they ain't gonna be 15 foot. It could be just a walking path, 8 foot. And when you put the kiosk on that, what you got? Anyway, I'm going to show you exactly what's going on. So 15-foot wide landscape beach access path will be created with vendor stalls and lighting for safety. That sounds good, eh? Vendor stalls and lighting for safety. Okay. I thought lighting was so you could see. Okay, lighting for safety then. So here's, they put this little part here. They're showing where the beach is, where the Rio Hotel is, the market kiosk. With, yeah, you don't really see no kiosk on there. Hey, that's because the kiosk was never in the plan. I can show you the plans. They have market kiosks, but there ain't no kiosk there. That's bush on the two sides. All right, market kiosks. So they just put that in this document. But look, I don't see no kiosks. All right, that's bush on the two sides. So that's because that kiosk wasn't part of their original plan. They threw that in there after having discussions with Brave them to see how they could justify this, so they could take this land to make it sound like something good. They could fix up the area and we could have a nice fix-up area. I don't know. They have landscape screening, a pathway. Look, it says it here. 8-foot wide concrete path. 8-foot wide concrete path. Then a perimeter fence, etc. All right. Now it's confusing because at the bottom they had a 15-foot clear pathway zone. All right. So that's when you're making up stuff and you're changing stuff. and you forget to edit the other piece. So it's 8 foot or it's 15 foot. Well, I'm going to show you exactly what it is in their documentation. So they put 15-foot clear pathway zone and 8-foot concrete path. So as I looked through their document, a lot of the numbers were contradicting, and so that's why I don't trust anything. So here's the little kiosk that they're going to build. So they have 4 here, but in the document I see 5 and 5 eventually. But here's what they presented to the public on the TV. So there's the little kiosk, a little stall they're going to build there. So let's see what they do with that. And they said access during construction. Vendors will continue to have access through designated safe paths. You hear that? Vendors. So what about the tourists? Taxi drivers want to bring there? What about the Bahamian public? What about who have a right to access that beach? What about everybody else? So the vendors will have access. You see, what they know is they want to take the vendors' rights and then make the vendors bow to them. Because once they take the vendors' rights by making them submit to them, they know the public isn't going to fight. Bahamians aren't fighters. So they know the public isn't going to fight once the vendors are out of the way. Because when they watch the first 2 incidences, it was only the vendors fighting for themselves. The public didn't come out there and say anything, the general public. And so they realized, hold on, if we get, if we swing the vendors, then we get to take this. Because the vendors are gonna say, you know what, let's just let them do what they want to do. Oh, we could get something, okay, and we could promise the vendors some stuff and then take it away from them. Once they neutralize the vendors, then they can they simply have the Bahamian public on lock. All right. So here, post-construction opportunities. While when completed, the vendor stalls will be provided. The vendor stalls will be provided. Upgraded vendor stalls will be provided, as well as dedicated storage and restroom facilities. Stalls will be available at a minimal rent of $1 per month, with priority given to existing vendors. But you're only doing 10. But they didn't say that at the meeting. All right? But I am telling the vendors now, they're going to hear this for the first time watching this. All right. Vendors will receive specialized training to align with luxury brand standards while maintaining the independence of businesses. All right. So that's what they're saying. Next, employment and training opportunities for Bahamian. This is a presentation, environmental impact presentation. So I understand why they're talking about all this business training and all this kind of stuff. It shows that isn't really about the the environmental part of it. All right. They said it's going to be 20% Bahamian to 20% non-Bahamian employment ratio. So if the meeting was supposed to be about the environmental impact assessment, why were they talking about all this other stuff? Because they were selling something else. All right. So we had talking about the $3 million investment, the $300 million investment is $715 million economic over 20 years. But of course, when I show you break down what that is, you're going to see that this is a bunch of fluff. This is a bunch of nonsense. All right. Long-term growth, Bahamian contractor. They made it seem like Bahamian contractors was going to get the full thing, but there's a lot of playing with words, etc. Oh, I want you to see this. Approximately 200 permanent jobs upon completion, but in the actual document, it has different numbers. 1,000 jobs during construction. All right. So they're gonna eat crawfish and fish and of Bahamian culture. And so in closing, if you want to contact them, this is supposed to be a presentation by Environmental Planning and Protection. And they said you have 21 days to respond to them with your questions and closing, not your objections, your questions. If you have a question, you can send that in to them. All right. So if you oppose, then too bad. This is done. All right. And they have where you can contact them. And I call on all of you. I'm going to give you the email. So the email here though is from Ocean Club. So they're making it seem like you contact them. But there's an email on the bottom underneath, almost hidden away, cec@depp.gov.bs. And that's where you can lodge your objections. And if you don't lodge any objections, dog eat your lunch. So I'm calling on all Bahamians right now to lodge objections to the CEC at depp.gov.bs. So take note. Someone type that into. I hope you can see it well. So you can type it in. Someone please type that in. CEC at depp.gov.bs. Someone type that in there. Everyone who is on here, please go and lodge an environmental complaint against these people. All right. Even if it's just they're going to be taking down the trees, an environmental complaint has to be lodged to stop these people in their tracks. All right. And so, all right. That's the last of that part of it. So you see what these people are proposing. That's what they presented to the public. That's what they presented. All right. So what is the truth? Well, the truth is they showed you that pretty thing that they're going to do. But in the meantime, let me show you where they are tossing the Bahamian people. There's a couple of things I got to touch on in here. But I'm going to have to multitask. Okay, let me show you the area first. Let's go. Let me show you the area first, and then I'm going to show you exactly where they could be throwing y'all. They could be herding y'all like pigs. You ever saw the pigs go into slaughter when they go through the machine, and then they have this little alleyway they just go through, and then they go to the slaughter? They're going to be herding y'all like pigs going to the slaughter. I'll show you that in a minute. But first, let's look at the area that's in question. All right, let's look at the area in question. Let me pull that up for you. Okay, there we go. All right, perfect. Let me pull this up for you. Let's look at the area in question before I show you how they're going to herd you like pigs to get in the back there. They always find some positive thing to go with it, for safety purposes. But here we go. All right, so this is Google Earth. This is Google Earth. All right. And let me make sure y'all can see this good. I could maximize this. All right, close that. Okay, I wanted to maximize it for y'all. Anyway, this is Google Earth. All right, trying not to. All right, I'm gonna get this bigger. Oh, there we go. All right, I wanted the full screen for y'all. This is Google Earth, and this is the area in question. All right, this is the area that they are going to develop. This is on Paradise Island. Right here is the Rio. All right, right here. And this is the Sunrise Beach Club. And this vacant area in between is where they are saying that they are going to possess. And so this area in between is where they're going to, they bought a part of it, and then the right of way is right in the middle of the screen right now. All right. I'm going to zoom in onto that right of way. Here we go. And so as you can see through the trees right there, this is the right of way. All right. And so this is what they want to take from the Bahamian people. So it's really from here. Don't mind these trees on the left-hand side. That's a part of the right of way. And after these trees right here, all of this is how people access the beach. All right. So this trail right here is how they access the beach. And this is the back area. and the vendors use this beach area, and they rent out their umbrellas, their chairs, etc., etc. All right. So this is the area, the digital format, of course, that they want to take away. All right. And so their land area. Let me do a different view. Their land area. I want you to see the full thing. All right. Boom. The land area that they're talking about, I hope you can see my cursor on the screen. Yeah, you should see the cursor. Goes from about here. Yeah, from about right here to across the street here. All right. Let's measure and see what that area actually entails. All right. So let me bend it up a little bit again. There you go. So I want you to see it good. All right. So right from about here, just a guesstimation. All right. Because further west of that would be Rio. And so we're going to measure. You can see the measurement as I'm going across on the screen. So we're going to measure over here to about 70 foot. All right. So the area in question is about 70 foot in length. All right. So 70 foot is the access area. Really, we use this spot where the white road is, but all of this is the access area. So this is a 70-foot area here. And you can see the rest of that is where they have the walls up right here. All right. The fence, sorry. So let's say roughly 60, 70. So just so you put this in perspective, your whole yard for most people is about 50 foot wide. This space right here is wider than an actual yard. All right. This is 70 foot wide that we're talking about. Let me make this big so everyone can see it. This is about 70 foot wide right here. So that's the space that we're talking about. My time is flying. Wow. So this is the space that we're talking about. All right. And so the problem is they're giving you 8 foot out of this 70 foot. So they're going to take some of this and then push us back in the corner. So let's see what's really going to happen. They're going to, I'm going to go in straight here because they have some plants on the side, but I don't know how much. But let's see what 8 foot of that is. Oh, that's 8 foot right there. That's 8 foot. So that's 8 feet right there. We make that big for you so you can see that. Sorry. That's 8 feet. So let me redo that. Let's say they have a little hedge on the side. Let's say 8 foot of hedge. Let's go here. Let me click on there. So let's say they go from there to there. That's the 8 foot. All right. I hope you can see this good. That's the 8 foot. So here, see where the square is? The hair is 8 foot. They're giving you a little small walking path. Now let's see what it is now that we actually use. Hold on, let me redo that. Right here is what we use now, right? So there. Oh, sorry, I did the wrong thing. Good. All right, let's redo it. So about right here. Let's keep going up there. All right, malfunctioning. All right, let's do that out. Okay, so right here. All right, still doing that. Anyway, let's go over here. To right here, what we use now is roughly about 30 foot. So the space that is clear, like a walking path right now, is about a little more than 30 foot. So they was talking about 15 foot, which is half of what you see now. So if you notice walking path, they was talking about 15 foot, but it's really 8 foot that you're going to be getting. All right. So it's really 8 foot. So you're getting just a little walking path. That's all you're getting. You can't drive no car up there. You can't do nothing in that area other than walk through there to get to where you need to go. And then eventually they'll take all access from you. So they are saying that this is the area that they're using, and they're saying it's a 6.15 acre area. All right, 6.15 acres is what they're saying. When I measure this, I don't see 6.15 acres. All right, I'm going to do my measurement, and then I'm going to show you how they measured it. In their measurement, they came up, I want you to remember this when we get it, they came up straight to the building of Sunrise Beach Club. And I don't even think that's legal. So in their measurement, they came straight up to the building, straight to their building to measure what they are saying is their 6.5 acres. So they look like they're trying to take land from everyone. But I'm going to show you that in writing in a minute. All right, so let's measure what should be theirs. There, to there. Let's say you go a little over the brush. Let's go over here because they come straight up to the building by the Rio. Come straight down. Go there. We go in a square. I'm teaching you how to investigate, guys. And so that's 5.91 acres if you go all the way up into the beach. But what they did was they went straight to the building. I don't think that's legal, but we'll see. So I just wanted to show you this so you could get some perspective of what's really happening. So when you see that little 8-foot thing, that's like almost like you take your hand and spread it out on both sides. And that's kind of what you're going to get. So now I'm going to show you some stuff from them. All right. Some of this you got to make sure you're sitting down for. That's all I can tell you. All right. So I got a bunch of images up here. Let me go to their documents first. One sec. All right, so I'm going to pull up their document and I'm going to show you their plans, their master plans. That shows what they say is what they're going to do. Now, stick with me. We're going to get somewhere. All right. Their master plans. Here we go. All right. This is what they call their master plan. Let me make this bigger. All right, so this is a master plan developed by SP Architects. This is their master plan. All right, developed by SP Architects. And so in this, you can see where they have their property going directly up. I want you to look on the side here first before we go anywhere else. Right on the side here, you see where it says building 4? Because they're going to do 4 buildings. That's the buildings. Look up where it says building 4. All right, look at where it says building 4. That's 4 buildings, and it goes straight up to Sunrise. You see that on the right-hand side of your screen? Straight up to their building. I don't know how you measure it like that, but that's what they're saying. They're going straight up to their building. That's creepy. And on the left-hand side, pay close attention, is this little walking path. This is their plan. Now, this is their real plan that they actually presented to the government. All right, this is their plan. If you look in this plan, this is their actual plan. All right, master plan. So you can see in the back of their building, see they have the umbrellas and the chairs and all that. But that's their umbrellas and chairs. They ain't no beach vendors, etc., etc. And this plan does not include no kiosks. All right, but this is the plan that they have for buildings. Actually, like the development, but all they have to do is change the way this is built and leave the Bahamian people with their land. Or Brave Davis could do what he promised and acquire this land on the side here for public access, like they said and promised, and let them go over. They don't necessarily need that. But see, they're pushing us over here. But I'm going to show you other drawings. So I have a bunch of stuff up here, so I'm going to have to scroll through this to get to the one you need to see. All right, this is another plan here. It's another plan here where you can see the sides of the building. So I got access to all of these. You can see this, the walking path on the side here. All right, so walking path on the side there. Kiosk, nah. There was no kiosk. Let me go to the next one. Okay, it's not moving. Okay, it's because it. All right, this the other plan they have showing the whole thing. Now, where I have a concern is that they're going out to the ocean, you see, as a part of their property. They're going straight to the ocean, not to, see, here is where their property line ends, but they have another line here going straight to the ocean. I can't see this too good to see the actual measurements, but they are going straight to the ocean right here. Not only are they taking land straight to the ocean, apparently, they're taking land straight up to the building of the property next to them, and they come in and taking the little piece of walkway that we have. See? It's the plans we got our hands on. All right, and here's the building that we showed you already. So this is what they are saying they're going to do. All right, so there's more of their plans that they have. All right, so I'm going to show you a bunch of stuff in there. This is the elevation. This is how they're going to build it, etc. All right, this is how the building is going to look, the rendering. This is the inside that they're going to do. All right, and those were their little stuff that they had. All right, so this this is what they're saying is going to happen. This is executive summary of the document they presented the government. So yeah, I have this in August 6, 2024. All right, so they said West Beach access, 8 to 12 foot wide footpath with protective fencing for months 1 to 6 of construction. After month 6, West Beach access will move to the east side of the property. Beach access is 8 foot wide path with protective fencing from month 7 to 16 of construction. After month 16, East Beach access will move back to the west side of the property. West Beach access, 8 foot wide container structure for months 16 to 36 construction. Limited beach access for months 37 to 43. Thought you all said this was 3 years. Okay, but anyway, to 43 of construction while the vendor kiosks and permanent beach access construction is completed. All right, so that's what they're saying. So you're really seeing 8 foot is what they're giving you. So the numbers keep changing. Nothing on there says 15 foot. So area of influence. This again is that document that they presented to the government. So they're actually showing where there's some in the middle of their property, some chairs and stuff that's littered on there. But of course, here, area of influence. The development is situated between 2 hotels, a Rio Palace to the west and Sunrise Beach Club to the east. The projected site is also located in Cabbage Beach, the most popular beach on the island. Large wetland, coppice, forests, lies, etc. So they're just describing the land there. This is where they're going to be dumping you. So this is what they're putting up for you to have access to the land for the 4 years while they are constructing this project. So they gotta have a strip, a container that you walk through the whole length, which is about 600 and something foot. The whole length, you're gonna be walking through this container to get to the beach, and only the vendors will have this access. So the public doesn't seem that they will have access to this beach anymore. Your access is going to be taken from you because they ain't worrying with you. All right. They worrying about the vendors. That's what they are worried about. All right. So, excuse me a second. I got something in my eye. Um, let me show you. I got to show you the other. Sorry, the other container situation. I thought I had it on here. Yeah, got to be on here somewhere. Anyway, I thought he had it there. But it goes straight out to the beach. And I had the document where it goes straight out to the beach. So there's a whole long line of containers that go out to the beach. And that's what you're going to be walking through. All right. And by putting this contraption on that land, they are staking ownership of that land. That's the purpose. So they got to build something on there to possess the land. You all wake up. All right? They are building a structure on that land to possess the land. And they're putting those kiosks on that land, which they don't need. They could leave us with that. They're putting the kiosks on that land to possess the land. All right? That's what really is going on there. All right? So that's what's happening. And on their documentation is actually saying 8 foot is what they're giving the people. Now here, they talk about existing land use and ownership. I want you to be careful, listen careful to what I'm about to say. Existing land use and ownership. This is their document that they gave to the government, you know. All right. You see how they draw the red? You see how they draw that red straight up to, that ain't even legal. You got to have space between properties. And if it's 2 foot, it got to be a certain amount. And if it's 2-story, it has to be a certain amount. If it's 1 story, it got to be a certain amount. This does not meet the qualifications. I'm sorry. And so right here, it goes straight up. They touch in the roof of Sunrise Beach Club. All right. And then on the left side, they're going straight over our access way. But you see here, they stop right here where the trees are. But on their plan, they went to the ocean. You saw it. These people doing whatever they want to do. All right? And listen to the words they say. Watch carefully. Currently, the land is owned by the applicant, Access International Limited, Access International Land Bahamas Limited. It is in a natural and undeveloped state. The terrestrial areas of the site include various plants, mostly invasive plant species and wildlife species that encompass the entire site. No ongoing residential, commercial, or industrial operations occur within the boundaries of the parcel. That's the stake ownership. And no one using this land. That's what you got to say. However, land vendors use the space north of the site to sell various items. So north of them, that's to the ocean, land vendors are there. So they're saying, yeah, the land vendors there to sell various items which cater to tourists from nearby hotels and attractions. There are hotels and residences located east and west of the site, as well as restaurants which cater to locals and tourists. Although the site is forested, hiking, hunting activities are not known to occur. So in other words, no one have any right to this because they don't hunt here, they don't hike here, they ain't do nothing with this land. They're staking ownership and showing it is vacant. All right. Are not known to occur within the site's boundaries. They're talking about their land now. The marine environment at Cabbage Beach is used for recreational activities by tourists and locals. These activities include water sports, fishing, boats, tours, snorkeling, sunbathing, and scuba diving. Now, this is what I want to hear. I want to see how smart my people is. I've read all of that to you. What did they not mention in here? Let me hear from my people, because I know we got the smartest people going right now. Let me hear from my people. Let's put your comments up there. What did they not mention in that existing land use and ownership? All right. They mentioned the vendors using the land north of them. They mentioned that there's no hunting, no whatever. There's the hotels and residences to the east and west, all that they mentioned. What did they not mention in that whole thing? Let me see what y'all saying. Did someone say jet ski? Let me see. What did they not mention? Someone say us. Someone say the locals. No, what did they reference to the land? What they didn't mention? All right, they said they didn't mention locals. They mentioned the vendors, but the locals. Okay, that's not what I'm looking for. Sales and vendors. They didn't mention the locals, the road access to the beach. Who is that? Granite in supplement nail salon and spa. I couldn't see it good. That you go to the head of the class. All right. Granite nail salon and spa. The road access to the beach. So in all that long story they just said just now, notice they ran away from mentioning that the beach, that the road access to the beach has been used for decades, for generations, before the PLP was even formed. For generations, the Bahamians were using that access to the beach. They left that piece out, even though they drew it into their property. They left that piece conspicuously out. You notice that? That's what they did. And so they don't even want to make mention, because then they would be admitting that it's in use. But all they did was mention, on this property, no one hunting here, no one hiking here, even though it's forest, no one have access to this, no one have rights to this. Because no one was using this, and they mentioned that in there. All right. But they didn't mention the access. Even though they mentioned the vendors out there, they didn't mention how the vendors could get out there to the north side. Understand? You see, they never thought our people would be able to wake up and start reading. I wish I had time to go through that economic thing so you could see all the fallacy in that. All right. So let's go back to their document. This is their document, that they presented to the government. We always get the goods. And so I want you to see this. They're now talking in their document about the socio-economic impacts. All right. The socio-economic impact. They are talking about how the socio-economic impact is going to be negative. They're going to have negative socio-economic impact. See it there? Make this big, big, big for y'all. Negative socio-economic impact. Oh, sorry. I'm supposed to do a little mention of two persons who passed away recently. Seeing their faces pop up because we have all of this, and I'm rushing trying to get through, so I'm not going the normal way to get to it without going through all the pictures. All right. So negative socio-economic impacts include the potential relocation and restricted access of locals during construction. You see, first, this is when they did this, because they did this assessment in they recently did this, all right? But they're talking about the potential relocation. That's just in case they can't relocate them. You understand? So the potential relocation and restricted access of locals during construction. So they can use the excuses like safety and all this other stuff to justify them robbing our land, which will largely impact the existing economic activities. Let me read that slowly for you. What they are doing will largely impact the existing economic activities. So in other words, they can largely impact these people's money. They're admitting that in the document. That's a negative impact. They can take bread out people's mouth. They put that in their document that they give to government. See right there? So they know that they coming to take bread out of these people's mouth, and guess what? They don't care. You see? They don't care. What they want to do is to get access, to possess that land that they don't have possession of. That's why they keep trying to put the gate up. And that's why they want to lease you for $1 to get there. So they could admit to their ownership, and they could build some stuff on that so that you allow them to use it, so that's theirs forever. Or they just employ you, so you working for them, so you don't have no rights to it no more, because your rights was really for them. Your usage was for them. And that's what they're trying to accomplish, and probably Brave them advised them to do it this way, because that's the trickery they always do, to swing the Bahamian people. All right? It will largely impact the existing economic activities. Yeah, they put that in big words. Hoping y'all would know they're talking about it. Traffic may be minorly obstructed during earlier phases of construction, land clear and heavy, this and that, whatever. All right? So that's what they are talking about. All right? And investment will amount to more than 550 million. 1 minute is 300 million. Then their numbers are all over the place in this document. Like, they just hurry up, throw this together. All right. I don't have time because I only got 2 hours to put this to put all this before you. So I don't have time to go into all of this. But I want you to see that. Now, they have a website you can go to, and you can see more of the nonsense that they are talking about. Let me pull up something from their website so you could see it. So we've screenshotted all of this in case they decide to change their mind about anything. We screenshotted the whole thing to make sure we're on top of things. All right. So sorry, my internet is going a little slow right now with their website. I don't know if they pull their website down. Let me see, make sure. Let me see. Because their website, oh, it's my internet. It's going very slow. All right. So, all right, give me 1 sec. Let me just pull up what they said about beach access. All right, give me 1 sec. All right, so I'm sorry, internet is, I don't know what's happening here. It may just be their website. They may be trying to pull that down, thinking that I'm on there. But hey, I've already gotten all this and whatever information I need, so y'all don't have to pull your thing down. All right. So I'm trying to access their little information they have there. But for some reason it's not coming up. Let's give it a sec. Let's give it a sec. Listen, this is, oh wow, it is something else. So I hope they didn't pull it down. All right, we'll give it a second to come up. Let me just stop and refresh it again. So I wanted to show you what they said on their website about the beach access, etc. Okay, here we go. At the Four Seasons, they talk about the beach access and how it's going to still be there for the public. So all this is there, and they have these the same documents that I showed you. So all that is right there, and they're talking about these little parts, and you know, they're changing from 15 foot to this foot to that foot, and none of it is making sense. All right, so let me pull up this document here. All right, where are we? Yeah, that's right, Brent. They actually pulled the document off their website. Let me refresh it. They were pulling some documents off their website, and so they had their economic impact assessment right on here on their website, but they just pulled it off. That's why the website was going slow, because they were trying to hurry up, refresh it, because we were going here to show you that, because the numbers in their economic assessment made no sense. It wasn't adding up, and they pulled it down. All right. It was easy for me to just come here and show you, but I'll give you later would be screenshot it. All right. So they pulled that economic. They just pulled that off. All right, off their website. That's why the website wasn't coming up just now. So they're actually watching this as we speak. So you all could welcome them. But we are not going to let y'all steal from the land from the Bahamian people. All right, it's simple. If you want to, and I want to look them in the eyes now that I know that they're watching and they are making changes to their website as we speak. Let me see something. Give me one sec. Let me see what y'all have been up to. Naughty, naughty people. They pull that off. Let me see. I want to see if I could quickly go there and pull that back, but that's going to take some time. All right, but I just want you to know that they had their environmental impact here, and they had their what do you call it? Their economic impact here, and they just while we were going there, they just pulled that off. All right, because the numbers on that was absolute garbage. It was, to me, it was like it was done by a high schooler or high schooler. I could say primary schooler. The numbers didn't add up, and what they were promising didn't make sense. And I guess they were afraid for us to go through that to show you that it was just a bunch of BS that they presented to government just to say that they presented something to government. And you were going to see that the numbers in there were not matching the numbers in the environmental assessment, nor was it matching the stuff that they were saying. And all this is my opinion, the stuff that they were saying at the meeting. All right, it just didn't add up. All right, so they just pulled it off of the website. So they're watching. All right, so they know that we are now on to them. So now they're going to have to, because possession is 910 the law, they're going to have to go and try to bully the Bahamian people by trying to force this down the people's throat. And they are clearly working with the government. How do you know when they're working with the government, ladies and gentlemen? How do you know? You know they're working with the government because you can see the trolls who were adamantly against this are now all of a sudden for it. Because they are the mouthpieces of the government. You see? That's how you know Brave Davis them is for this. You see? They're trying to find a slick way to steal this from the Bahamian people. And now that you see the mouthpieces of the PLP, all of a sudden saying, yeah, man, this could be a good thing. They could fix it up and they could make it look pretty. Okay, since Access is watching this, Atlantis has fixed up parks around the country. They didn't need to own it to fix it up. They fixed up the Pinewood Park. They redeveloped that. They did Malcolm Park. They did parks. They invested in beautification around New Providence. If you want it fixed up and look good, just fix it up and make it look good and leave it alone for the Bahamian people. You don't have to put no kiosk there. No, thank you. Just fix it up because you want it to look good and leave the people with it. If it's about the beautification. No, you don't care about it being fixed up. You want to control that land and give that small piece of land to the Bahamian people. That's what you want to do. That's it. It ain't about fixing it up. It ain't about beautification because you're only putting 10 kiosks there because the purpose of those kiosks is ownership. And that's why it's going to be leased for just $1. You're putting that there so that y'all would have built there and basically y'all are claiming ownership and possessing the land. And in between, while it's billing for those years, you all are putting those containers there as temporary structures to own the land. And whoever walking through your structures that you all built. We are not our grandfather's generation. We're not fools anymore. We will not fall for anything the politician and their paid trolls say, who are paid to deceive the Bahamian people. We see you. You went on your website and made changes. All of a sudden, because we on to you. We on to you. Your plan for the area is good. We like the 4 billions you're billing. Just based on what I'm seeing, you don't need to mess with that. You have no need to mess with that. You can build next to it. But you want to give us a 8-foot slip over on the side? No thanks. Based on all the drawings I see, there's no need for you to touch what we have. But you want to stake ownership to that. You want to make it seem like we can have access to that and then take it away. If that's your case, go closer. People and their access. Leave us alone. How about that? All right, let me open the phone lines because I've been talking long, but I had to get through a lot of this to make sure that you were able to see this and to get the full understanding of what happened here. And the fact that they are changing things on their website that I mentioned shows that they know it's a bunch of foolishness. All right? And the government is working with them to rob the Bahamian people of what belongs to them. I just opened the phone lines. I haven't really opened it yet. They didn't go on. Okay, we can take the calls. Good afternoon, you're live. Let me put the phone number up. Good afternoon, you're live.
Good evening, my president. How are you?
I am awesome, man. How are you doing?
I am great.
You said these people think we stupid?
It's amazing how they think little of us.
Yeah.
And I say that. Those vendors over there has been over there for years.
Before me and you born.
Them to say you want to pay them $300 a week, whereas some of them make that in a day.
Yeah, that's some of them on the beach. So they haven't officially made the offer yet, but that's what the people was getting from them piece. And then to lease for $1 a month to the persons who could be on the little strip where they leave us with the little 8-foot strip. They think we stupid.
Yeah, they really think we're really stupid.
So you getting a kiosk on the walking path.
Working from Cabbage Beach, and you want to sell them at $300 a week?
Yeah.
They can't be serious.
Guess what? And guess what? Some of them, based on their political affiliation, may take it.
Yes, I know. They will definitely go ahead.
It's so amazing when
they'll be saying it's something better than nothing. It's like, really? Really? And we are worth more than that?
Hold on. Someone on social media just made a comment. They said 8 feet is just as wide of the road you drive in. No, my brother. Roads are 40 foot wide. 40 feet wide. 40. All right? In every subdivision.
Way back in the day, the average road used to be
15.
10 to 15 access way back in the day. That's from 1932. Our property from 1932 was saying 10 feet access road. So that's from 1932. It's now to 2024. So if they had access road from 10 feet from 1932 and it's 2024, Bahamians, they better wake up. They better wake up and stop, because if they take that access, that means no Bahamians can have access to Paradise Island beach anymore.
You see,
have to
people
stay
people
at one of the guests.
people lose their intellectual ability based on which party is in power and which party they support. So if that's a PLP and they support the PLP, they will make up any excuse and say any nonsense, forget the Bahamian people, forget the country, this their party agenda. They're just going to push the party agenda and forget everything else. And so that's what a lot of people do.
I'm Bahamian first, and I will fight for my country until
Good evening. Hold on one
call
second.
me home, but I'll fight for my country. Hell to the no.
Yeah, thanks for your call, man.
All right, take care.
All right. Good evening, your live caller.
Hey Lincoln, how you doing?
I am awesome, man. You ready for your 8-foot road?
I mean, I have the right of way of 10 feet on an out island.
Wow.
On a tiny island that I had to beg for to get to a property that was family property for some time. Anyway, the bottom line is, how could someone even fix the finger to type and tell you a road is only 8 foot wide?
I don't know where they live in.
Most of these SUVs bigger than that.
Yes, a SUV is bigger than 8 foot.
An F-150 is 8 foot wide.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on. This is not F&M, PLP, UP, any kind of issue. This is the people versus someone who is trying to take their heritage. I mean, this belongs to the people. How could anyone even say that they want to acquire this? Any portion of it? I mean, what are you giving me? What? That's like, you have your car, Lincoln. I say, I'm going to give you a loan on half of your car. But it's your car, right?
Yes.
I can't even figure a correct analogy to even give you for this where someone would actually sign it. Everyone needs to stand together and say, no, we own the whole thing. And I don't care if you're yellow and red or COI or DNA or whatever, you know. It's yours 100%. Why would you settle for a piece of what's yours?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's like me coming into someone's apartment or house and saying, I can rent you a piece of your house, 2 of the rooms, and it's your house. and you should accept that. I mean, you know, this is what the outcome of this.
Well, what if they say they're gonna beautify your room?
You put paint on my house, right?
Yeah. They got beautify. They can paint your house, and then you just pay them rent from now on.
For the 2 rooms you could be in.
Yeah.
But you can't go in all the rooms.
No.
But we put the paint on it for you, though. This is about as smart. I don't want to use the word stupid, as smart as it can ever get. But I'm gonna be long, Lincoln. You know.
Yeah.
This will show.
What do you think about the fact that they actually pull their economic impact off of their website when they heard me talking about how certain stuff wasn't adding up in it?
Well, we're reactionary, okay? You know, we're in the middle of hurricane season. Not to digress, but what have we done differently from Dorian? So this will show me the temperature, the fuel gauge of the people, if they're truly ready to own what is theirs, or just simply get the crumbs again. The outcome of this will speak volumes. Anyway, have a good one.
All right. Man, listen, they are going to get permission from Brave, because remember, it's the PLP who initially put up that fence. They're going to get permission. They can put up that fence, and they can threaten and do whatever they want to do. They'll lock up who they got to lock up to make sure these people get what they want to get in our country. Bahamians are last. All right? They can do whatever they have to do to make sure that they get what they want. All right? So you know it's government in power. And so the hell with the people. And all you could do, as far as they concerned in their head, is vote them out and put in their friends. All right? And so they don't care about what you all think. They just want to get what they want to get. And if they got money under the table, you think they want, but you think they can let you and your little couple dollars you could make on that beach get in the way of their pocket? I'm not saying that's what happened. I have no proof of that, but you think they would let you get in the way of that? Come on, man. Good afternoon, call you live.
Hey, good day. How you doing?
I'm awesome, man.
Great. You make a good point just now, because if you look at Goodman's Bay Beach, they have 3 vendors out there, and I was trying to get a spot, and the police said they can lock us up. A few of the vendors came out there. So what happened? the taxi drivers diverting from Cabbage Beach and going on Goodman's Bay Beach down where the jet skis is. Now, the Majestic Tour is bringing the tourists that way. So I asked one of the vendors who's selling rum, I'm like, how is it y'all get to come out here and the people who making authentic Bahamian things can't get out here? You say, when I work for the guy, him and I guess Mr. Barnaby, I think that's his name, Michael Barnaby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, say that's his boy, so that's how you get the spot.
Wow.
The next, this out of their mouth, they're saying no hearsay or whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. Now, there's 4 vendors out there selling rum, the same thing. But the vendors come out there to sell to the tourists because now they divert the tourists out there. But no vendor with authentic things can get set up. The lady out there, she said the commissioner gave her permission to be out there so nobody could run her. I respect that. Make your money. But it's not fair. You got 4 different people selling the same things, but y'all locking up, literally locking up the vendors. This ain't like, maybe I might lock you up. You understand? One of the vendors called me and say, hey, could you call somebody to get me out? I was just selling some Bahamian items and they locked me up. Say, I talked to the police. He say, I warned her. I'm like, but you got 4 vendors who are just selling the same thing. Rum, alcohol to tourists. This is a gateway to help Bahamian people make a living. You have no, come on. How could you hide the tourists and only allow y'all people to get in because y'all getting a piece of the cake? They are getting a piece of the cake. And I'm sorry to say it, but that's the truth. Look on top of what the place named across the road from Fish Fry. That place where they're supposed to open up for the vendors, where they have the carnival ground.
Right.
Do you know the name of it? I can't remember.
At the end of the carnival ground? I don't know his name.
No, on top. You know, like the carnival ground, and then on top.
Yeah, by Fort Charlotte.
They have some. Alright. You notice that ain't open yet?
Yeah.
They promise all kind of people to give spots, and they only give it to a few people who was ever out there. But what are they waiting on? What are they waiting on? Like, people been waiting for a year, literally a year, from they were supposed to have their grand opening. It was in the news. It was in the newspaper. Nothing.
Man, look what just pop back up while you're talking. The same economic assessment, what I just said, they took down. Now is up.
Wow. Anyway, if those happen in front of our faces, we gonna perish, buddy. How is it we don't deserve better? Those people in the straw market are.
You don't deserve better if you don't vote for better. If you want this to keep happening, then you just vote for it. I mean, everyone deserves the government they vote for. And so if you want to keep suffering and you want them to keep making under the table money and taking bribes and you get nothing, and Bahamians getting treated like garbage in the country, and you vote for that. And you have a right to vote for that.
Well,
no.
Let's vote. Let's vote for better.
All right. Thanks for your call, man.
Take care.
All right. Good afternoon. You're live.
Hello, good evening, Mr. B.
Good evening.
Good evening, Bahamas. Just to piggyback off the last caller, what he was explaining, you had vendors on, I think that was by Fort Fincastle, vendors by the tower, and of course, the beach. He was just talking about. Remind me of the name again, please.
Fort Charlotte.
No, Goodman's Bay.
Oh, sorry about that.
So you have Fort Charlotte, you have Goodman's Bay, and then I think that's Fort Fincastle or the water tower. The water tower. The vendors were there. Vendors were all along those places. And, you know, the media has now become quiet. And the people are tired. They're tired of having to fight for their own in this country. They're tired. You know, on top of fighting, they have to figure out where the next dollar is going to come from to pay BEC, BPL, I continue saying BEC, water, food, rent, mortgage, gas. Lincoln is a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. But notice how all of the vendors are being displaced.
Yeah.
All of the locations in the country where we have straw vendors, they are being removed. And because there are so many things going on in this country, we can hardly fight for them. There's so much we can do. And this is why every time I speak, I always call on our people. We have to come together and we have to stand up.
Yeah.
Because this is our culture that they are attacking.
And it's like, it's so much bad going on. You look crazy trying to fight for every little thing out there. We just need to remove the FNM and the PLP because every sector be suffering. It's so much skullduggery going on. And people, everyone calling and saying, you all need to fight for this. You all need to fight for this. You all need to mention this. You all need to do this. And it's like, we only got 24 hours in a day.
Yeah, tell me about it. And what I'm saying is this is not only a fight against the vendors. Again, this is a fight against our culture. This is a fight against Bahamians, regardless of your political stance, whether you're PLP, FNM, COI. This is a fight against our very existence in this country. And until we can come together as one people and examine exactly who our true enemies are. Our enemy is the PLP-FNM. I stick them together like glue. Our enemy is the PLP and FNM because there is no way a government sitting in the House of Power cannot enact something with the stroke of a pen to empower our people to make sure that our culture and our way of living is secured in this country.
Yes.
I don't want to keep you too long, but
Thanks, you God.
We need to come together. We need to come together.
Thank you. Go ahead, call you live.
Good afternoon. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, I was one of the COI supporters
Yes.
along with my husband.
Yes.
Good night, Mr. Bain.
Good night.
I along with my husband, were some of the persons that attended the meeting that night.
Yes.
And it was attended by at least 40% of COI supporters along with Bahamian people, along with some of the Bahamian people.
Okay.
And Dr. MacGyver was one of the first ones to speak when they opened the floor for questions or concerns. But when Maria Dobson took the floor, Maria shut the whole meeting down.
Yes, I was impressed.
The heat in the room was so hot, they over the meeting very quick.
Yeah.
Very quick. When they see the support that was there from the Bahamian people and the COI supporters, they had to close down the meeting. Quick.
Yes.
Have a good evening.
All right, thanks for your call. Yeah, Maria and Dr. MacGyver went there. I didn't know who else was there. I was out of the country. And I don't know who else was there. But they put it down. Maria really, put them to task. And of course, they wanted to end that meeting. I heard not many of the vendors spoke. Or I didn't see any of them speaking. I don't know if they did. Someone could call me and correct me. But let's go to phone lines. Good evening, you're live.
Hey, Mr. Dean is off, man.
Right here, man.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so I know a lot of people watching this too, so I try to piggyback on what the lady said before me, and this ain't really have nothing to do with PIP, FNM, DNA, COI. This has something to do with this a hard thing.
Yeah.
If you love your country, if you love the people in your country, and you love your country, then you will do and stand up for what you need to do and stand up for inside the country. Meaning everything was right.
Yes.
You don't just sit down and just say the government, I guess if you just come together, large crowd, if you put a foot forward, if you go down, probably, I can't tell you, inside riot, basically, that's what it sounds like, right? But even if you don't get the permission from the police to do it, just to show them, like, you're serious about change, you want something different to come. Because if the country stay the same going forward for like 20 more years, you have no more country.
Yeah, man. Yep. Thanks for your call, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, he is so right. I want to show you this, and it's 803-5995. You can WhatsApp call or regular call. I want to show you this before they take this down. um, um, all right, so this is their document that's actually on their website, the economic impact assessment, and here you can see different numbers, and this oh god. Says Access Industries envisions a premier destination on Paradise Island consisting of a condo hotel resort development. The resort will have 75 individual units. Remember before it was 69 individual units with a unit in a rental pool and use likely to be shared between visitors and owners. So again, just like the scandalous situation in Grand Bahama in West End, where they had this condo property and the owners bought the condos and then they shared rent. The owners use it sometimes and they rent it, not like timeshare, but the owners allow them to rent it out and make money. They're supposed to split the profits. But of course, the PLP seem to be working with someone to block those persons from getting an accounting or their profits from it being leased as in West End. But here we know they got to have intentions to do it right. All right, so they say here they're assessing the economic impact, and they said here that the operations would that the development would start in 2022 to 2020, continue to 2024, and the operation would begin in 2025. All right. First, they said it was 3 years, 2025, but I guess they had to push back on this. All right. Over this, so this is a 20-year study time horizon. All right, a 20-year study time horizon. All right, and so let me show you what their horizon is. Cumulative total economic on the Bahamas economy of $1 billion. Hold on, wait, that's not even English. Cumulative total economic on the Bahamas, maybe they meant economic impact. Cumulative total economic, I guess, impact. I don't know. I told you this when I saw the numbers. This stuff wasn't adding up to me. It's all over the place. The Bahamas economy, $1 billion. So the other document was $715 million. This document, which was written before, had $1 billion. All right. So different amount of unit, different amount of economic impact. Oh, the 715 is here too. Let me see the difference. Cumulative boost to national GDP of 715 million. Okay. Oh boy. A total of $290 million in additional income earned by Bahamian workers over 20 years. You can see how they come to that number. An average of 448 additional full-time equivalent jobs per year. So they said 200, now it's 448. I'm going to show you why they say in 448, because they are counting that they're going to buy stuff from the wholesaler, and the wholesaler is going to have to hire more people, and they counted all kind of nonsense. All right. But anyway, government revenues from additional economic activity would include 197 million. All right. That's in 2021 Bahamian dollars. All right. So the dollar of the value in 2021. That's why they have this 2021 year. And would outweigh proposed concessions by 1.2, whatever. All right. But included in their government income is NIB. I'm going to show you that. All right. You can scroll down fast we could. Included in their government income is NIB. NIB is not government income. That's the pension money of the workers. That's to benefit them, that the government holds in trust, and to benefit them later. That's not government income, government revenue. Who wrote this? And who accepted this? But we get to that in a minute. All right. All right. Y'all should keep this down. We get to that. Let's go to the next page. All right. All right. Economy impacts. So here they have the economy impact of the proposed access development. All right. cumulative. So they have direct impact, indirect impact, and induced impact. All right. So this induces the nonsense, and the indirect is the other stuff. Direct impact. Let me go to this output. All right. Development phase 171 million. This is in the millions. All right. Indirect 55 million, et cetera, et cetera. So you see these fancy numbers they have here. Value added, and then they have income 29 million, 13 million, et cetera. But employment average annual. All right. Employment average annual $300 million direct. So in other words, person going to make a direct $300 million from them over 23 years, though. You see, they going way to 23 years to make the numbers sound fluffy. You know what? You might as well put 100 years. What you gonna make the first 1, 2, 3, maybe 5 years. But don't be showing me, oh, you're gonna make this over 23 years. But initially you said 20 years. Remember? We just come from that. Initially they said 20 years, now they're saying 23. But let's keep going. All right, we can stress them out. All right. Oh, sorry. This first part is for the first 1 to 3 years. So this is the construction phase. All right. The next one is the 4 to 23 years. All right. But $305 million there are giving you a total for the 23 years. So let's keep going. 4 to 23 years, employment average annual, $235 million. Direct impact. That means that's from the people they hire directly. This 73 million is from the secondary jobs that happens as a result of this, and the 82 million is from the people who got the secondary jobs and they spend money, and that causes extra jobs to be created because they spend money. That I don't know. All right, this may make sense to some of you. All right, but we'll keep going. So now the 1 to 20 years projected total output 600 million, and that's where they get the 1 billion, because they're saying $608 million directly is impact with them, $193 million indirectly, and then if you go way down the line, 236.9 million takes us to the 1 billion. Value added is 750 million. Income, I'm trying to speed through this. All right, so employment, the employment average annual $244 million, and then the indirect is 86, and the induced, that means after the employees spend money, that's what they feel the induced gonna make more than that. All right, so sorry, I'm speeding through this. So total government revenues is $197 million. All right, but the total concessions, you see there in the fine print at the bottom, 158.9, so 159 million, rounded up to 160. All right, $160 million in, that's concessions from the government. Interesting. All right, let's go to the next page. Sorry about that. Next page. All right. Schedule of capital expenditures. I'm going to roll over this. Project managers expect to spend nearly $275 million on a total project investment. Before it was $300 million. I'm rushing through this, so y'all pray for me. They said with $172 million in local construction spending. Wow. That almost sounds like the local construction companies are going to make $172 million, but that's what they mean. They actually mean, because the numbers say it at the bottom, $172 million in construction here in Bahamas locally. But why would you say local construction spending as if, what, you're going to build a part of this hotel somewhere else? But they're using fancy words to kind of make it sound good, all right? So I'll skip over and keep going because I want to go fast. There's so much information, man. This 2 hours, can't cut it. New investment. All right. So fees, they're saying transaction fees, 21 million, land and planning costs is small on my screen, $30 million. Site and construction, that's where the 171.7 million, that's the 172 they was talking about. So that's land and that's site and construction, what they're going to spend. So even though they say local, they just mean that's what they spending to build the thing. All right. So just fluffy words. Other costs, 34 million, interest and fees, 17 million. So that's where the $275 million come from now, even though before you heard some numbers like 300 million or whatever. All right. I'm speeding. All right. So let me go fast. All right. New visitor volume will stabilize at nearly 8,800 annual visitors. I think they mean that may be either over 5 years or over the 20 years. All right. And they say it'll ramp up. All right. So let me keep going. So you can see this. I want you to see what they're proposing so we could have a real conversation about this. This is a new educated Bahamian. This ain't the cult Bahamian who just say, I's a PLP, my Grammy who's a PLP, and whatever the PLP for, I for. So they're saying that the additional income, so they're having an assumption about how much each person is going to spend. That the Bahamian economy, the total expenditures in the Bahamian economy will amount to 20 to 27 million per year and at stabilized occupancy. That means whenever they get to that point of it being 8,000 visitors. All right, try and look for actual numbers here so I could point you all to it. Let's keep going. We're on page 10 of 32. All right. So that's over 5 years. So from 2025, but they are saying they're not gonna. They were saying they were gonna start building in 2025 or the end of 2024 and finish in 2029 earlier. So how have you finished building? Oh, sorry. These numbers were if they had started previously. All right. So it's confusing because they're throwing numbers all over the place. I'm sorry about that. All right. So after 5 years, after completion, they would have 8.76. So they said 8.8 thousand homeowners and visitors. All right. So that's what they're saying. Accommodations. So they're going to spend. They're going to spend a certain amount on accommodations, food, all of this stuff. And so that's what they're going to make. So 4.8 million on food. Sorry, 2.8 million on food, accommodations, 4.8 million, retail, shopping, recreation, local transportation. All right. Let's keep going. So initial investment of nearly 172 million over 3 years. Boosted visitor spending, incremental visitor spending of $20 million. Okay, they just throw in numbers out there. I wanted to show you how they come to some of these assumptions so you can see how crazy this is. Direct spending will include initial investment. Okay, we've already seen that. Let's keep going. I just want to speed through. Let's keep going. Economic impact. Okay, I'm going to keep going through this, but you can go to their website and you can see it. Read through that. There's some stuff in there I wanted to show you, but we'll keep going. All right. Direct spending drives benefits in other industries. All right. Direct spending generates demand for supply industries and drives employees to spend. So when the employee spends, you make money, indirect and then induce. And so indirect and induce, they show how much money is made from indirect and induce, and then how much made from the direct into the economy. So that's what they're saying there. Induce is a strange thing, although it makes sense. But how do they come to these numbers is really. Just hold the line, caller. I just want to get to this quickly. Just hold the line. All right, let's go to the next numbers. Economic impact, operations. So when I'm finished this, go to their website, go through these numbers, and then you're gonna get this. I want to move on, but I want you to see a couple of things before I move on. We didn't pass through it. All right, so here's what I wanted to get to. Government revenues. So total government revenues will be $193 million. So I think they're saying that this is over the 20-year span because it's confusing how they keep throwing all this stuff around. Key source of incremental government revenues will be value-added tax. Okay, so it looks like they're talking about the 5 years. They're saying total revenue estimated at 1.58 over 23 years. So sometimes it's 20 years, sometimes it's 23 years, sometimes it's 5 years. This is just like a high schooler put this together. All right. So total government revenues, they're saying is $193 million. Sorry, $97.3 million. National insurance is $28.5 million. Let me again make this clear to you all. National insurance, although the government treats it like there's their revenue and they can spend it on what they want to, national insurance is not the revenue of the government. All right. So let's get that clear. Import duties during operations, 29 million duties. They're going to get concessions. All right. But they're going to mention it to the bottom. So just stay tuned. Import duties. Departure tax, 3.1 million. They don't justify where it comes from. Annual business license, 7.8 million. Okay. Stamp duty, 37.2 million. Value-added tax, 90 million. Total concessions, 100 and that's the 160 basically we said. But construction import, so concessions will be construction import duties of 18.3 million and real property tax of 140 million, 0.6 million. And so they're going to get concessions for everything they bring in. All right. So you just stay tuned. So I wanted you to see that. Let me, just give me a sec. Let me just keep going. I'm not going to get through this whole thing. I want you to see their justification for these, for this the government impact, for these direct and indirect and induced and all this stuff. And if you really go through this, you're going to see that the numbers are going all over the place. So here's the key assumptions here.
The gas went out. That's
all right.
nice.
Oh Lord, the person talking on here, and they ain't know we could hear them. They must think they're on mute. Say the gas went out. All right, so I'm just going to leave it there. Oh, see here. So I want you to see this. Direct, indirect effects stem from supply chain spending, where each directly affected sector has purchased goods and services as inputs, like food. That's indirect effect. Food, wholesalers, utilities in production. All right. Induced effects are generated when employees whose wages were generated either directly or indirectly by travel or tourism spend those wages in the local economy. All right. So when the wholesaler, their staff goes and buys something, that's how money is made. So they're saying that's how they're contributing, and that's where they come with these big billion-dollar numbers. All right. I'm not buying it. I understand how business plans and etc. works, but they just want to do fluffy numbers to justify what they're doing, and there's no justification, real justification for it. Let's go to phone lines. Good afternoon, caller. You live.
Good evening, Mr. Bain.
How you doing?
I'm good. Now, I was listening to you, and I'm still getting angry. I am using the word skullduggery because I've learned it from you. And that's all I'm seeing with the government doing these agreements. It's skullduggery.
Yeah.
My Lord, I'd be sitting here using a scripture I always see in the Bible saying, Lord, how long will the wicked be jubilant? How long? Like they don't stop. You know, so what is the plan the COI would have in place for agreements that has been made over the period of time from these successive governments that
was not in pleasing for the Bahamian people. What plan do you all have, the COI? Can it be undone, or we have to comply with the skullduggery?
According to one of the principles of law called parliamentary sovereignty, no parliament can bind a future parliament, and so we can undo anything they do, and any odious agreement that they were to put into place, we can undo. All right, and we are going to undo because most of what they are doing is for corruption. All right, it's for under the table deals. All right, it's not to benefit the people, and they are bullying the people and pushing them around however they want to. And so we got to change that. They were talking about the vendors, but the swimming pigs that were in New Providence have been bullied because Jerome Fitzgerald and Brave Davis them have gotten into that business. All right, and so all of a sudden, everyone who doing swimming pigs get pushed off. Wow. All right, got harassed, and they use the police to do their dirty work. All right. So Bahamians are being treated like dogs in this country, worse than dogs. And we're going to fight that. We're going to have a new tourism model where we don't need a foreign investor because we're going to fund our tourism with our natural resources. And we're going to have resorts that's owned by us. All right. It's owned by the Bahamian people. And it's going to be real resorts like the people want. I got a chance to, because I was meeting with persons who are interested in the Bahamas and what's going on here. And I was in West Palm at a resort, all right, just outside of West Palm. Right? I won't say exactly where it was. It's a gated community, not really a resort. It's a gated community. It has a hotel in it, but a lot of yachts in the back. And you know, I was talking to one of the persons there, and I just want you to know that 10% of all the billionaires in the world live in that gated community, right there outside north of West Palm, right? 10% of the billionaires in the world live there. All right, Donald Trump's son lived there. And I was outside talking to one of them, all right, because they are actually a foreigner, but they are sick and tired of the corruption of the PLP and FNM. And they were saying that, you know, when we go to the Bahamas, we are not interested in those big high-rise hotels like Bahama, Atlantis, etc. They like the island feel. They like going on the beach and taking an hour to get your drink and it being slow and relaxed. That's what they come to the Bahamas for. But that is gone, they're saying. All right? They want the resort. They want the kind of the overwater bungalows and the actual real, because they live the busy life. They don't want that here in the Bahamas. You see? And this is what they want. But they're saying the biggest problem with the Bahamas is corruption, and there are many foreign investors who are fed up with the PLP and FNM, and they know things about the Bahamas that Bahamians don't know. They experience the skullduggery from the PLP and the FNM firsthand, and they are sick of it. And they want change in the Bahamas more than some Bahamians want change. Because we'll sell our soul for politicians. And they just want, like after Dorian, you saw those foreign investors in Abaco came and rebuild Abaco on the Keys, etc. They put up their own money. The government didn't put up $1 because they love the Bahamas. They're not Bahamian, but they love the Bahamas. You see? And so they want that natural life, and we can do that. That don't cost much to do.
Great.
Yeah. But thanks for your call. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
change is here. You know, we're going to present a vision to the Bahamian people that's going to make sense to all of you. If you love this country and if you want to see change, and if you want Bahamians to benefit, man, Bahamians don't have to be scrapping and begging and what we going through, man. Come on, man. It don't have to be. They make it seem like everything difficult when it's time for Bahamians to benefit. But when it's time for them to party and live their best life and love themselves, and they have the money. They can spend the money whenever they want, but when it's time for some of us to benefit, you know, I was talking to a wealthy person over the weekend, and he's like, how is it that Bahamians would sit down and allow the government to have a law where Bahamians can't gamble or own a casino? He said, how could that, like, how could you have successive governments and they just allow that to be? I said, it's not about gambling, you know. It ain't that they don't want us to gamble. It's that they don't want us to own the casino. Anything that we could benefit from. And he noticed it. It's like, y'all can't readily invest in the stock exchange. That's how you get wealth. He said, just saving money won't get you wealth. Just investing money, opening a business, etc., alone won't get you wealth. He says, is when you get to the level that you put your money to work is what you have to do. Because no matter how much call I'll get to you right now, hold on one sec. No matter how much money you have, if that money is not working, you're going to be losing it because that's how the system is set up. That your money is devalued constantly because of inflation and other matters. And so Bahamians are not allowed to freely invest in the stock markets internationally. All right, Bitcoin, and we have major plans for Bitcoin as a COI. Bitcoin can get wealth for Bahamians if they understand what's going on. But hey, they hassle you and harass you. So anything that can benefit you, they stop you. Forex, Bitcoin, any of those stuff, they stop you. Caller, you live.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. President.
Good afternoon, my brother.
Yes, good afternoon. Good afternoon, COI family. Good afternoon, Bahamas, and all those listening. You know, I don't want to throw you off topic or anything like it, but it has been annoying me for a little while now, seeing that both administrations only give members of parliament with $150,000 for their constituencies.
It is shameful and insulting for a constituency, and all you get to run that constituency is $150,000. That's insulting. All right. If you hold on, I want you to think about how much people. I'll give Pinewood as an example.
Yeah.
All right. You probably have about 20,000 people living in Pinewood. I know that's shocking to you, but if you have 5,500 voters, for example, imagine how much other people in the houses can vote, the children, etc. So you're looking at probably about 20,000 people, some of them being children. And all of those individuals would contribute to VAT, because even if you buy something for the child, you got to pay VAT on their clocks, tennis, on their food every day, and whatever. So the amount of money that is made per year in VAT for each of those individuals is mind-blowing. All right. And so you make millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars probably, from each of these communities, and then you send $150,000 to that community.
Yeah, but
that is so. Hold on one sec, because I want everyone to get this. You probably make, let's say you only make $15 million from the people of Pinewood, for example. You mean you're gonna send just $150,000 to do stuff there? That's the first thing. The next thing is the MP shouldn't be the person doing that. And that's why we're bringing island states and city governments. And I'm saying this because there's some people hearing this for the first time. And island states mean the money made on an island stays on the island. All right? They pay a royalty to the central government in order to do central government stuff. And then the city government means the city, that community, they make their money in their community from their land taxes and whatever way they make money in that community, and they have their own budget. All right, their own budget, and so their budget, and so for example, in America and Canada, in UK, China, etc., they find different ways for the money from that community to go to that community. So licensing of cars or any way that they can make money in that community, it stays there. And they have their own budget, and they determine what they do with their money. And their mayor is supposed to carry out what their city council decided he's supposed to do, and he could be fired. That's who does it. The lawmaker, the MP, only goes to Parliament to write laws to benefit us as a people. So I just wanted to make that clear. All right?
Yeah, but Mr. President, what I realized, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
But what I realized is that, let's say, for instance, say Mount Moriah, right? Let's say Mount Moriah have 6,000 voters. And if you divide that money into 6,000 voters into $150,000, that means every voter could only get $25 a year. $25 more. I think it's $25 or $37 a year from the member of parliament with $150,000. I mean, these people, they don't care about the Berlin people.
Wow.
They just don't care.
Wow.
And they think that they do, and they push
Hold the
it.
line, call you next.
Yeah, I mean, it is crazy. 150,000 for communities. Something has to be wrong. It is wrong. You have a good night, Mr. President.
All right, thank you, man. All right, let's go to the next caller. Here we got Kareem Elgin on the line. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Ben.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing? Honestly, man. Okay, let me this the candidate talking to you as a candidate. So you telling me when we look at the structure of a mayor, implementing a mayor in your system, and then you have an MP. So you're telling me now we're about to add more money to the budget for operation for constituencies. Is what you're saying to me?
Actually, what we're going to do is spend more money so that we can have more efficiency, so that the system works. Sometimes it pays to spend money in order to make money. Right now, you have an inefficient system where they're taking the money and squandering it. All right? And we don't want our money from our constituencies and our government system being squandered. And because right now, the people aren't being served. That's why we have potholes in all our community. That's why the electricity isn't working properly. That's why in all the family islands, nothing is working correctly because the system is efficient. So sometimes it might pay. See, you could say, I'm going to run my business and I'm going to run it on my own. But if you hire an accountant or pay an accountant on the side, at least he could put stuff in place and get proper stuff done. If you hire someone with a specific job, you could say hiring a security at the door is spending more money, but that security is going to save you more money in the long run. And so that's the thinking behind it.
So you're telling me now, okay, as a candidate person running for government, for a member of parliament seat. So if I come in, so you're telling me as a member of parliament, I can't create in Garden Hills, let me be specific. In Garden Hills, there's 12 polling divisions. So you're telling me I can't put together a 12-member council where a person could be elected from each polling division to represent each polling division on matters of issues relating to that polling division.
No, we don't want it. We don't want it loose and MPs doing it.
I just telling you. No, listen. Just for I hear what you're saying about adding more layers to the budget or more layers to the structure.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm saying to you is, you're telling me that me as an MP, Kareem Angel, I won my seat. You're telling me I can't appoint a 12-person council where each person can represent a polling division. Secondly, you're telling me, this council, I can't then determine the infrastructural needs of the community and create groups or create committees to now function accordingly. Okay, so you're telling me as an MP, I should have no skills or no understanding of executive order to bring to the table a plan that could show structure, just like how you read out that business plan to me, where they could say to us how much money they can spend. Here's my income streams. Here's how I'm going to make my money. So you telling me as an MP, I can't count my homes and determine how many people in my homes are unemployed. And I, as an MP, I can't, along with my council, along with my committees, put together a program to assist in helping more people who may be unemployed transition to self-employment by taking their resume and using that as a basic business structure for them to start their business and to create platforms to help them market their business through the Bahamas to generate income for gardeners. So
Let me tell you,
have to create all these things.
Let me tell you what you can do as an MP. What you can do as an MP is what they can actually do now, but they don't do it. You can table any idea you want as a bill, and bring it to the House of Assembly for persons to vote on it and for the Senate to confirm it and for it to be passed. All right. Any idea? Let me finish. I'll let you talk. Any idea you want, your job is to go to the House of Assembly and legislate and to lobby other persons to come along with you to bring this bill that you think makes sense to the House of Assembly. But I'm telling you, our agenda is that we need our cities working properly. We need our islands functioning properly. We don't need to hope that we have a good MP who's going to come up with ideas to say every polling division, you all come together and you all, with this 150,000, we can split that into the 13 polling divisions or the 15 polling divisions. Everyone get their 10 grand or 9 grand and you all do what you all could do with that. No, we are setting up a proper system so that there's proper accountability, not hoping that an MP comes up with an idea, but a system. And any MP who wants to present something to the House, they can present it to the House because now their focus is going to be on passing laws to benefit the House of Assembly so we can have proper laws.
Let me ask you a question, okay? As an MP, it's my understanding. So you tell me, when I represent Garden Hills in Parliament, and I work within my constituency to determine what our needs are and to serve my community to draft, like you say, legislation bills to help make life better for my constituents on the ground. So I'm saying to you that the computer, so you try and tell me, I believe that the computer is as smart as the user because every person uses the computer different. If a dummy go behind the computer is a dumb computer.
Mm-hmm.
If a smart person go behind the computer, it's a smart computer. So that's the same situation with the system, the country system. We have elected, and unfortunately, and that's why I blame, because me and you in our 40 years, we are young politicians, and the Bahamas have not seen young leadership from till independent days. Me and you are we are like this first set of young politicians who saying now we taking on the same mantle that till independent them took when they fought against UBP in 2024. Because I 42 and you got 45. We leading your R10. So I'm saying to you this, when you go behind the computer, Lincoln, you make the computer move different. When I go behind the computer, we make it move different versus a man who don't know nothing about the computer.
All right, let me help you. Let me help you understand the philosophy, and this for the person listening also. We are tired of depending on politicians and MPs to get things done in our community. We are taking the power from the politicians and giving it to the people. Every civilized country in the world has these same rules. This is nothing new. All right. So what happens? Hold on. Let me finish. I'll let you talk. When what happens is the people form their council, and the neighbors and the neighborhoods become a part of that council. All right. Hold the line one sec. Call you next. The neighbors and the neighbors become a part of that council, so they have a say in what happens. And guess what? If you live in a neighborhood, use the MP, and you want to be on the council, go be on the council. All right, that's up to you. But the neighbors in that neighborhood will decide what happens and why this. No one is going to serve you better than you, my brother. All right, no one is. See, the MP ain't making sure your road paved because he don't have to drive on those roads. All right, his children don't have to go to the school in that neighborhood, so he don't care. They don't even have to go to the hospital we go to. All right, so they don't care. So now the people who care and are going to be affected by the decisions are going to make the decisions. And this is the proper way. It's proper representation by the people themselves who should have a say over their money. These politicians, the PLP and FNM, have been accusing each other of thieving for 51 years. The FNM said the PLP thieving, the PLP said the FNM thieving, and nothing getting done. So guess what? We are going to take the power from both of them, and we gonna run our own money. Give us our money, let us run it.
What I'm saying to you, I can make this 5 point, I can go.
Go ahead.
Politics, party politics allows governments to circumvent or take power from the people. The Constitution, especially after the independent law order or whatever it is, it shows us that what a democracy. All I'm saying to you is we voted a party. The party then circumvents the power of the people. So when the PLP in power, they only have the PLPs. When the FNM in power, they only have the PLPs. I mean FNM. What I'm saying to you is, as an independent person, you have the duty and you have the position that you can help everybody in power. All I'm saying to you is, this country has never had a young leader like me and you emerge for almost 50 years since Finland them days. We talking about 40, 50 years of our parents, mommy and daddy, not us. Our mommy and daddy, me and our granddaddy, they had a problems. The very same people who are over 50 listening to us right now, born in who 58 right now, which means they born in 1960 something. And when I was just born in 1982, they was 18. They all continue to sit with their mouth closed and allow the governments for 51 years to give them when they party.
They didn't know better. But the revolution starts with education. And so this is why I spend my Sundays educating the Bahamian people. All right?
Well, start with the Grammys and grandfathers, because I don't think it's really the young people who have the problem. Because listen, Mr. Davis is a 70-year-old man. When Angel said to him, he wrong, they tell me, boy, you was a little boy, you know manners, you disrespectful. So I say to the people 70 and 60 and who in company with Davis Brevis, to let him know when he's wrong, because Mr. Davis has lied to us for this whole entire term. He told us that he's giving us free electricity. That was a lie. He told us this year that he was going to disclose the deal between the BPL and Pike. That's a lie, okay? All I'm saying to you is, the adults older than me and you, they have to say to themselves and repent and say, I did wrong. I trained my children wrong. I allowed these men to abuse us. Now I have to go and now put my face on the chalk.
Let me just say this to you, because the adults are coming on, and we have people of all ages watching this live every week, and people of all ages are out there. Just listen. We have people of all ages that are coming forward and waking up, of all ages. I've had 80-year-olds and 100-year-olds come to me, and I've had a 100-year-old in the Marathon constituency. Anyway, in the Marathon constituency, pull a whole family aside and tell them they need to vote different this time. She's a hardcore PLP, all right? I don't even know if she's still alive. But I tell you what I experienced. But I just want to say this: what I'm experiencing is, the problem is not them. The problem is people like you, because you spend time on social media attacking Lincoln Bean and the COI on a daily basis, while people like Brave Davis and the FNM, etc., are the ones fighting this country and beating this country down and raping and robbing us. So anyone who is focusing on us, who is trying to fight for this country, is them who is the problem, and it's them who ain't serious. All right? But thank you for your call. I appreciate it. So you can go and tell Ali McIntosh what I had to say. Good afternoon, caller. You're live.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. Straight and direct.
Yeah, man.
I wanted to just give a little input on the gentleman with his scenario about MPs putting together 12 persons to represent the area. See, that hasn't worked for over 50 years.
Yeah.
And any new idea would be connected to the same system that we're dealing with will still not work, because whoever is in charge will say, hey, we don't have no money for that, because they already did a coaching job.
Yeah. We need a system change.
What you're putting forward, I can resonate with that. If a central government has a policy and a program for every community, they're going to put in all the new roads. They're going to build new homes. They're going to put people, in hotels and put in new structures for them. Running water, electricity, Wi-Fi. These are progressive movements for a country that is trying to build their people up. We haven't seen that no time. And we are from the 60s. I'm from the 60s. So I've seen all of the prime ministers and what they've done. And like you said, we can't blame ourselves for the most part, because we figured that they were doing the right thing for us. However, now that the education era has, we can find things to Google and different different platforms, we are now being able to uncover what they have really been doing as
Yes.
a collective unit pretending to be two organizations. That's my input, Mr. President, and I love your show. Continue.
Yes. Thanks for your call, man. All right. Yeah, man. We have people coming out all of a sudden saying that they are going to, come out there and they're going to do this and do that. They've not been in this fight fighting for the Bahamian people. They want to pop up all of a sudden and they want to put themselves out there. And then these kinds of people are attacking the COI and Lincoln Bain on a daily basis when we're not the ones that stole the Sovereign Wealth Fund. This is frozen. Look at it, the live is frozen. I don't know if y'all can still see me. Okay, you can see me now. Okay, oh, we're good. We're not the ones that have stolen the Sovereign Wealth Fund. We're not the ones who are making the Bahamian people suffer. We're not the ones that are flying around in jets, partying, and while the country suffers. All right, they're saying, "Oh, Chess is doing a good job," and no fire truck in Exuma. All right. We don't have proper ambulances. We should have a hospital on every single major island where you have people living in this country. It is ridiculous that we have settled for this for so long. We need a country that works, man. You can't have an ambulance, something simple as a fire truck. We still having discussions over water, whether the water is going to be working properly, whether electricity is going to be working properly in this country in 2024. And people on social media talking about Lincoln Bain and COI. And I ain't talking about the FNM and PLPs, I expect that. But these people who say they for change, they attacking the people who also want change. It doesn't make sense to me. Have people saying, the third party should come together, et cetera, et cetera. Well, whether they come together or not, we are moving towards a new Bahamas. Last time, the leader of the DNA sold out before the election, and I warned everyone. You could tell what was going on before the election. You could tell what was going on before the election. All right. Phone call again. Good afternoon. You're live.
Good afternoon, Mr. Finn. Just want to share something after listening to Mr. Hancho. Like you said, a lot of persons who say they want change, they come out, and yes, I agree, they do attack the Coalition of Independence. But what is it that they are? What is it they are attacking? Are they attacking an individual, a person, or are they attacking the vision, the plan? Because if any right-thinking person was to sit down and take a look at that plan, I'm not saying that it's perfect, but it's far beyond what we are getting today. Today in this country, we are getting nothing. We are not getting anything on our natural resources. We are not getting anything back in tax return. So when they come out and attack, what is it exactly are they attacking? I have not seen a third party. I have not seen an independent candidate outside of the Coalition of Independence present a viable plan to move this country forward to the new Bahamas. So when persons decide to stand up and attack and poke, what are you presenting? Let's put our plans side by side. Let me take a look at your policies. Let me take a look at your plans that you are going to use to drive us in the direction to the new Bahamas where all Bahamians can benefit. And I mean all Bahamians, regardless if you are a PLP or FNM supporter. So when persons decide to poke, pull down, attack, let them put the plans next to each other. Let us look at the plans and the policies of the PLP. Let us take a look at the policies of the FNM as it relates to Bahamians benefiting from their natural resources. If they can plans for Bahamians to benefit, then keep in mind then the coalition is that party that the because independence is the party of Bahamianization. Coalition is the party for the new Bahamas. That's all I had to say.
Amen. Thank you, Ms. Green. Kareem Angel was calling me. The beep was coming through while Miss Green was on there. 803-5. We did a long one today, but I think this was needed. We have to always continue to educate our Bahamian people. We have to educate our Bahamian people on what's going on in this country. We need something different. Whatever we've been having isn't working, and we need something different. I started to tell you before election, you saw, and I warned everyone that the leader of the DNA had sold out. All of our people didn't know what had happened, but she had sold out to the FNM. And we saw where she was working with them. Brent Simonet was doing certain things and funding them in certain ways. We saw that. I identified that to you. If I wasn't out of time, I would identify some of the stuff to you. I showed the Bahamian public what was going on. I showed them. My husband works for Brent them, and this is what is happening. And so when the other people had come from the other side with their little trick, India didn't go along with that, because that was a PLP effort that they were coming with, and the FNM was over there. All right. But all right, this is Kareem Henschel. Let me take this call. We've been 3 hours, man. Good afternoon, you're live.
I get a call back.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is for Mrs. Green. There's no disrespect, but what we gotta realize is this country is being governed by party structured operations for different. Right. It's a coalition of. Then it converted to a party under the name, which is a disguise or some type of distraction. What I'm saying to Mrs. Green and to Lincoln Bean is, who knows that y'all go in power and do the same thing the PLP doing, only doing for their supporters, what the FNM only doing for their supporters. We need a party that can represent.
That's the truth. Who knows? The fact is, you don't know, but you know what you're going to get if you vote for the PLP FNM. You know you're going to get more failure. You know you're going to get more greed and corruption. They tell us that every time. The PLP right now is saying the FNM corrupt. The FNM saying the PLP corrupt. I believe both of them. They are both right. So we know what we're going to get if they come to power. And so you know what you're going to get. But I can tell you what you get if you vote for the COI, you're going to get someone different. Go ahead.
We could debate because that's where you want to talk about plan to plan and policies to policies. Just like COI, I as independent. I'm not a party. I'm not focused on national governance. I'm talking about putting in place plans for constituency.
What do you say we could do? You say we could debate?
I say we could always debate. When you talk about
my brother, listen to me carefully. I just put you off of speaker. My brother, I don't have time to waste. We need to take this country. I don't have no debate with you. I don't hear no third party saying nothing different than what we're saying. I don't have time for that. My issue is the PLP and FNM. They are the problem. They are the problem. They are who we need to get rid of. Send Brave to debate me. Send to debate me. As simple as that. Our need is a new Bahamas and a new nation. As simple as that. Go ahead. I gotta end this live.
You gotta debate for this if you want this. Intelligence to win. So when Ms. Green want to talk about intelligence, that's how I debate. So I can open up my brain and I can show you all exactly what in my head.
All right, thank you. All right, so Brave David to a debate, and we're going to do that, and that is correct. We need a debate so that we can fix this country. All right, we need people to. This whole entire time through the connection issues, etc. There was more I wanted to show you all through the connection issues and stuff that was happening. And so everything we our opinion based on what we is going.
Ambassador in the tourism sector and is well known globally for her creativity.
I don't know what just happened. I am so sorry. We are having technical issues. I'm so sorry about that. Okay. All right, we're having major technical issues. I don't know what is going on, but okay, Long Island, we are coming to you, and we're going to be there this week. So we're going to be canvassing in to see what's going on. We change. Oh Lord, this one last caller. Caller, you live. I'm awesome. Go ahead.
I mean, that same guy, that handsome guy, he always up to it. I don't know why, but you know, I just can't get when people say, how do you know the COI is going to do the same in the PLP? And I mean, why do they keep doing it? I mean, I don't get it. I made this question the other day. If I can't gotta go there, take the job.
Yeah.
You know, if we keep up this theory that no matter who you put there, how you gonna say no matter who you put there, they're gonna do the same thing?
Let me show you how silly the question is.
Yeah.
So you said, how do you know that the COI isn't going to do the same thing the PLP and F&M have been doing? But you know that what the PLP and F&M have been doing it, and you know what they're going to do.
Exactly.
So why would you even risk staying with them? Even if you go with someone new, at least that's a chance to get something different. And those two realize they're not gods, and you're not back and forth between them. Them and F&M.
Anybody, but an Indic can.
We back up.
Customer service.
It keeps happening. Go ahead, we back up. We got to finish this live.
Yeah, so you know, he does this all the time, and I mean, like, you know, that theory where they say they cannot put someone else there because they're going to do the same thing. It is a lie. The Bahamian people have to realize that they have to renegotiate their position, putting someone else that has obligations to nobody other than them. These two parties have already sold out. You hear the Grand Bahama Port Authority bragging that they donated to both of them while they pick up or who got donations, like they both that they received money. Like you the Bahamian people need to wake up.
Yeah, they do. They do. All right. Thanks for your call, man. And you made a great point. You know, all of these people say they pay off both the PLP and the F&M. Someone says lightning. Yeah, I'm gonna go haywire now. They pay off both the PLP and the F&M. So you know what's gonna happen. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna end this call here. COI is coming. So see you soon. All right. We're gonna be there on Wednesday. All right. Anyone who is in Long Island, just know that we're coming, and you can call me at 803-5995 if you want to see me. All right. So Long Island, we love you, and we're gonna be there for you. And yes, we have a candidate for you this time. Yes, we do.